no-shows. You fucked up. Yeah, I'll go for your phone. You fucked up. And your phone full of holes. You fucked up. Try test, take no. You fucked up. Can't put on no shows. You fucked up. Yeah, I'll go for your phone. You fucked up. And your phone full of holes. You fucked up. Try test, take no. You fucked up.
Run the track.
We done it again. We forgot the loop again. Just when I thought I'd finally learned. Fucking done it again. Oh, well. Big up everybody that's locked in. Like, subscribe. Let me know what everybody is saying. We're here for another live stream. We're here for another video. Here for some more transfer talk. We're getting to that point of the year where all we're going to be discussing is ingoings and outgoings. And this is the exciting part of the year. Big up everybody that's in here, though. Like, subscribe. What else? What are we discussing today? Oh, Kai Havertz is unhappy. So am I. So am I. We're going to get into that. Neymar links are resurfacing again. And very interested to see what people's perspectives are on bringing Neymar to Chelsea. What else do we have? Havertz and Mount have been discussed internally at Bayern. We'll discuss that. Ugarte's got interest. We apparently contacted Jorge Mendes to register interest yesterday. There's a little piece on João Felix, potentially having interest from Newcastle. And yeah, it's a busy day. It's a busy day. Big up. What's everybody saying, though? Big up Jester saying, you need to talk to your boy Matisse. Man is still talking about the youth in 2023. What's he saying? What's he saying? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Big up to Talon. I'm all good, bro. Aaron, that's not me. That's a guy called Jay Tomlins. Big up to Jay. He's the one who designed the intro. That's him in the background moving about. So, yeah, that's him. TK, I saw Kvaratskhelia to Chelsea links, but it's very vague, and I didn't even want to get into it because we're not getting Kvaratskhelia. Not even deluding myself into that. Even the Osimhen links, like, cool, I'll talk about it because I know we're looking for a striker, but we're not getting him. We're not getting Kvaratskhelia. We're not getting either of them. Prove me wrong, Bowley, but you're going to get bent over a barrel, pause, for either of those players. And it's just not worth it. Wait a year. Wait till they have 1 year left on their contracts and then go in for them. It's pointless doing it before that. Big up George Muta, like he says, run the likes, people. Run up the likes. We need a couple more likes than we got on yesterday's stream. How many likes did we get on yesterday's? We had... No, that's comments. I thought it said 16. You're taking a piss if that's the number. How many did we have on yesterday's stream? We got 231. Now, I'm sure we can do better than that. I want 300 in this stream. So let's start off slow. There's 200 of you lot in here. I want 100 likes. Give me 100 likes, people, because every single interaction helps the channel out. It helps push us up the algorithm. So hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Super chat if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, or if you want to help out the channel as well. Check out Jerseys FC as always for all your best affordable football kits. Link is down in the description below. Use the code CarefreeLewisG for 20% off everything, literally everything. Let's see what everybody's saying. I don't care if Havertz is unhappy. He can hold that. Big facts. What else is everyone saying? Lateness is greatness. Big up to True Blue Clay. Big up to Ravi. Big up to Lucky Singh. Proud to be a Georgie. Says Neymar stinks. Wouldn't take him on a free. Neymar doesn't stink. Neymar doesn't stink. Big up to yourself, my brother. But Neymar 100% doesn't stink. Big up Sean. Big up S-Way. Big up Harrison. CJF says we don't need Neymar. I mean, we have the worst attack in Chelsea history in 99 years. I think we could do a lot worse than Neymar, personally. A lot worse. He was on Rant's channel saying there's some young wingers in the academy that need to come through. I don't really know a lot of the academy wingers. I know there's this kid called Tudor Mendel-Idowu, bruv, who is a brazy fucking dribbler. I want to see how he develops. Other than that, I won't even pretend I pay attention to the academy. Let me know whatever talent rolls through and hopefully they look good. I don't know. All I know is that Mendel-Idowu guy is smashing our dribbling records. And he looks fucking crazy. But that's it. That's all I know. Big up to Mike. Big up to Score Goals. Bobby Hitchin. Yes, 1 like equals 1 sell Kai Havertz. So yeah, everyone smash that like button. Smash that like button. And with that in mind, we're nearly on 100 already. Big up to you, man. You lot are moving more clinical than Chelsea are. So keep hitting that like button, people. I want 300 by the end of the stream. 300. Where should we start? Where should we start? Why do you guys want Neymar when you have Mudryk? Mudryk isn't where we want him to be right now. And Neymar would be fucking unbelievable for as long as he would stay fit. The only real question mark I have over Neymar is the injury record. But we're playing 1 game a week, so you're not even going to stretch him too tough. Personally, I think Neymar walks into England, he becomes one of the best forwards in the country. Even in a season where he's washed, he's got 18 goals and 17 assists. Are we really going to turn our noses up at that if the opportunity presents itself? Obviously, I don't want Chelsea to get fleeced and everything. Like, the wages are a madness. He'd have to drop that to about 250, 300k minimum if you want to have a conversation. Plus, it would have to be a cheap transfer fee because he has got 1 year left. But if Neymar is available and it's a feasible transfer to make and we can still sort out getting a striker, a midfielder, and a goalkeeper, I have no idea why we would say no to that. He would literally come in and transform our attack immediately. Immediately. So if Neymar's there and those variables can be sorted, I don't see why we say no. I don't see why we say no. He'd be here for what? A year, 2, 3 at max. He'd bag goals. He'd bag assists. He'd want to win. It'd be a new challenge for him. Like, I think it'd be a good move for us personally. I really do. Just don't prioritize it. The priority still has to be sort out a goalkeeper, sort out a midfielder, sort out a striker. If you get all of those 3 sorted and you can still bring in Neymar, fine. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. Is top 6 a realistic target for next season? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100%. Let's hope none of our players get injured on the... They won't be. That's going to be one of the most friendliest games in history. We are both going to that game with the same intention. Go win your league title. Or hell, even if we do a madness and win, I don't care. They'll go win their next game and go win the league anyway. We're not gonna act like anyone going up there gives a shit about what happens in that game. We don't give a fuck. I'm here for vibes. Neymar makes 0 sense in my opinion for what we're trying to do. I'll take him 100 games with less games next year and might stunt other players like Mudryk. I don't think so. Mudryk's like what, 21? How is he going to be stunted by 22? Like, I don't think it's going to work out like that. There's plenty of years for him to develop and grow. And I think learning from the likes of Neymar would be invaluable to him. Invaluable. If you have him for a year or 2 or 3, I think it benefits us. It benefits Mudryk. Benefits the team. It puts us in a better position to win trophies. What's the negative? Like, the negative is if you get bent over a barrel for him. That's it. In my opinion. What else? Man said I thought I hated vibes. Yeah, but I've got my 40 points now. I hated it because I didn't even think we'd get that. That was it for me. I really want Neymar at Chelsea. In the old guard, we had Czech, Terry, Lampard, and Drogba as those to teach the team. And Neymar would be one of those to teach the rest of the squad. Yeah, like he bring experience. Like, that obviously comes with it. Bring goals, he bring assists. Fucking insane dribbling. The presence in itself would open up a lot more gaps for other forwards in areas of the pitch. Again, I don't see the issue unless it costs too much. Or unless it means we can't get our other targets. The other targets stay the priority. But if you can bag Neymar on top of that, you fucking bag Neymar on top of that. Simple as. Simple as. In fact, let me drop a poll. Neymar to Chelsea. Let me see what you guys are saying. There you go. We ruin attackers. Stop the cap, Lewis. He comes here. We're gonna. Then let's just not buy any attackers. If we ruin all our attackers, let's not buy anyone. Let's sell all of our attackers. We'll just defend and get 0-0 draws all game. That should be enough. It doesn't work like that, bro. It doesn't work like that. Can't keep fit in France, let alone in the Premier League. Here's the thing. Players usually translate well from the French league to the Premier League. So I don't like this idea that it's just a massive downgrade when they can translate themselves very fluidly. How many times have you seen players go from France to England and they start off really well? The fitness thing, I understand though. But how many times are we going to be playing more than one game a week? It's not going to be a lot. Not going to be a lot. So even if that was an issue, then you have the likes of a Mudryk that you can rotate with. And then maybe a Sterling, potentially. Neymar, I don't think he plays on the right as much. I think he plays more on the left. But if he did as well, you have Madueke there. Like, it's not like it's just Neymar and we'd be playing him game in and game out. Well, so he won't join us without UCL football. If he doesn't, it is what it is. Like, the fact is, goalkeeper, midfielder, striker is our main 3 targets. If you don't want to join us because we ain't got UCL, oh, well, we move on. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. What else everyone's saying? No way. Is that true? 20 league games, the most he's played in 7 years. Let me check that. Because that is crazy. That is crazy if that's the case. Let me have a quick look. I'm just going to check Wikipedia quick. Statistics. So what did you say? 20 league games? No, that's bollocks. That's bollocks. 30 in 2018, 28 in 2019, 27 in 1920, 31 in 2021, 21-22 was 28, 22-23 was 29, and that's League One alone. Yeah, no, that's waffle. That's straight waffle. All right, cool. Jester says no to Neymar. Fair enough. We'll have a discussion on that. Big up Havertz and Mount Hater. Big up, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Ugarte would be 52 million if you want to sign him. Yeah, we do want to get into that as well because I did see this come up just before the end of yesterday's stream. Didn't get a lot of time to discuss it, but yeah, Ugarte. We have official interest in Ugarte. We contacted Jorge Mendes and his team at Gestafoot to register interest. Chelsea have plenty of options for the midfield role, and Pochettino will have a big say. But Ugarte, unbelievable value for money. Like, I think this is one of the things we universally agree on, even as a panel. Ugarte's been brilliant for Sporting Lisbon. 52 million release clause. I think that's a very favourable fee. He's great at reading the game, very fast, safe in possession, press resistant. Apparently, he's got relentless stamina, good balance on the ball. Ball winning numbers are amazing. It's everything that you would want for in a DM/CM. So, yeah, I think we're all in agreement on this one still. But let me know your thoughts on Ugarte to Chelsea. Would this be a move for you guys? But I feel like we'd all be in agreement over it. Big up CNAC saying, what are we doing here? Neymar is 10 times better than any attacker we have. 20 games with him is infinitely better than 38 games with everybody else. This is what I'm trying to say. Neymar is straight up levels better than every forward we have. If he's available, and if it's at favourable wages and a good transfer fee, what are we debating? Genuinely, what are we debating? I'm in full agreement with you, CNAC. Big up, my guy. Appreciate the donation. Bakayoko killed it in the Premier. Yeah, like he was one that flopped, but I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen when we were linked with him, and every Monaco fan I was reading about was saying, why aren't we going for Fabinho instead? Why, out of all the midfielders, you've gone for Bakayoko? I don't know, but whatever. That's just our shit scouting. So that is what it is. I think Neymar would be like a 2019 Hazard in like a playmaker. I think more is in the ability to make something out of nothing. Like, it's too easy to just say, oh, he's like a Hazard or he's like a Muller or something like that. No, players are themselves. They're individualistic. So, yeah. Like, to me, again, Neymar, Chelsea, I'm all here for it personally. All here for it. What else? Would I sign? Yes. Bruv, I wouldn't even debate it. Declan Rice rejected your dead club. Brother, Declan Rice hasn't even dropped we have never dropped a bid for him in six transfer windows. Do you see how we were our name's been linked to Rice again, and I haven't even put that guy in the title? Because what's the point? What is the point? We're not linked with him. We're not going to go in for him. For the price tag that's been put on his head, I don't even want him. So I don't care. You lot keep trying to be fucking Man City light and everything. I don't care. Big up CNAC saying Ugarte and Casado in and the midfield is fixed. Big facts. We do have to stop Arsenal from getting Casado and Rice. We can't let that happen. Throw them a Mason Mount on the cheap or something. And be like, hey, you don't need to spend 150 million on two midfielders. Here's some minerals for you. You'll even get Rice in because they're best friends and they want to, I don't know, play together. Pause. Kind of pause? I don't know. What else? That's it. Yeah, 11th and saying no to Neymar. What else was here? Oh, we didn't even get through the Havertz stuff. Let me get into that quickly. Right. So, allegedly, Kai Havertz hasn't been happy at Chelsea for a long time, with Bayern Munich as a possible destination for this summer due to his agency's links to the German club. Now, I don't really think he goes Bayern, only because they've been linked with him for so long, and all of their tier 1 sources were saying they have enough 10s. So, I don't know if it's Bayern, but I could believe that Havertz isn't happy at Chelsea. links, because we've heard that for a while now. Like, if anything, it's been a bit of flip-flops, to be honest. At a couple points, he's happy, then he's not happy, and then he's happy again, and then he's not happy. So I don't care. Like, I haven't been happy with you for a long time, innit? So the feeling is mutual. I'm not going to sit here and be annoyed that Havertz isn't happy at Chelsea. Whatever. I'm not happy with you, innit? So it is what it is. Maybe they come in for him if they lose Gnabry and Mane, but those are more wide players. So I don't think that they want to bring in Havertz to play him out wide. But if he's not happy, please, please, please fuck off. Please. Because I'm not happy with you. You're a terrible footballer. Genuinely one of the worst footballers I've ever seen put on a Chelsea shirt in my time watching this game. The amount of opportunities, the amount of chances, the amount of excuses that I have seen for this overrated bum has been unbelievable. It's been a full year since I gave up on this guy, and all I've been told is, oh, he's going to put you in the mud next season. Then it was, oh, he's going to put you in the mud in the World Cup. Then it was, oh, he's going to put you in the mud in the second half of the season. Then it was, oh, he's put you in the mud because he scored 2 penalties in 3 games. And now there's nothing, because we're at the end of the season. And Lukaku, I think, is still outscoring him. And he was barely playing for like 6 to 7 months. Like, the Havertz experiment, the Havertz project, whatever you call it, is dead. It's finished. It's boring. I am tired of it. I think a lot of us are tired of it. Maybe he's tired of it. Cut the losses. We haven't heard any club come in with like concrete interest for him. There's been quiet rumors of Man City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Like, I think he goes back to Germany, personally. Either that or he's bench warming at a top club. I could see him go to Real Madrid. I could see him go to Man City. I don't see him start. He would be on the bench. Like, he would be a sub option. And I think he's a good sub option. I've said that's like one of the few roles that you actually get something out of him with. But get rid. This brother is shit. He's beyond shit. Move on. Just move on. Move on. But yeah, what else is everybody saying? Havertz hasn't been happy. Couldn't tell with his performances lately. I had someone tell me he was good in the Arsenal game. He was good in the Forest game. Forest, like, he didn't even have a touch. Not really his fault and everything. I'm not going to blame him. Like, we weren't getting the ball forward enough, but he ain't been good. AV says, Kai, a waste. Could have been great, but he can get lost. That's been my biggest problem with him. Because I see the idea of Kai Havertz. And I understand it. That would be a brazy player. But there is ideas and there is application. The application is not there. That brother cannot do anything consistently. He cannot finish 1v1. He cannot finish headers consistently. He cannot beat a man. He cannot fucking make consistent passes. He can't hold the ball up. His link-up play is meaty. He gets you top of the league for offsides. He gets you 2 fouls a game. All he gets you is distance covered, offsides, and fouls. That is it. That is it. All the criticisms of Mason Mount holding us back, this brother holds us back as bad. But he has this weird little Havertz defense league full of like kids that want to marry him because he scored in Porto. They see him as their hero and everything. If that's your hero, bruv, you are doomed. You are doomed in life. Find someone who's actually good at football and stand them. Find somebody who's decent. President Trafar says, get the donkey out of my club. Big facts. Did you watch them? I wasn't disappointed because, like, Inter were going to slow down the game. They're 2-0 up on aggregate. They don't have anything to really push forward for. Is what it is. Havertz, jog on. We won't miss you. I feel like we're finally in agreement. Nice. Agrees, awful. Needs to be played at cam or centre forward. Ugh, bro, just give it up, man. We played him as a cam and he's shit. We played him as a centre forward and he's shit. You played him as a winger and he's shit. You played him as a striker and he's shit. We played him as a false 9 and he's shit. We've even played him as a midfielder and he was still shit. What do we want to play him in goal? Because he dives a lot. Do we want to do that? Like, he's done. He's washed. He's finished. Like, who cares? Who honestly cares? Same, Jafar. Same. So, Willian over Havertz. Yes. Willian at least brought you consistent attributes. Like, Willian driving the ball forward from defense to attack. He was fucking outrageous with that. His dribbling, his driving and carries of the ball was insane. So, as much as I despised everything Willian brought to me in the final third, I know he's at least bringing me the ball forward. I know he can do that. And I'll give Willian all the credit in the world for that. He was brilliant at that. Havertz brings me nothing. Straight nothing. What else? More news coming out about Toney. I saw the Nizarkin seller stuff, but it's not really an update. It's not really an update. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Yeah, Chelsea put Ivan Toney on their shortlist, and it's just pending the outcome of his betting charges. Brentford might be willing to sell Toney because he has 2 years left on his contract, and also because of the betting situation. But it's not really an update because we knew this. This literally came out yesterday. We're interested in Osimhen, Lautaro Martinez, and Toney, but we're not really pursuing Toney because of the betting situation. That's why I didn't really bring it up, because it's like, we kind of know this. But thank you for bringing it up anyway, my guy. I appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Don't rate Havertz, but I do feel for him. He's playing centre forward, and this is another problem. Why does everybody say that Kai Havertz is not a striker when Kai Havertz will tell you himself that he is a striker? This is how baffling the defense is for this bum. Because people will go against the player just to back their own point and to defend him. He has come out and said in numerous interviews, I can play anywhere across the front three. I can play up top. People should know where I play because I've seen you play there. I mean, because you've seen me play there. So why are we going to say he's not a striker? Tuchel thought he was a striker. Potter thought he was a striker. Hansi Flick thought he was a striker. Bruno Saltor thought he was a striker. Lampard thought he was a striker. Are all of these managers wrong? Is Kai Havertz wrong? I would trust a player to know where he plays more than anyone who wants to talk about him. So Havertz is a striker. He's just not a good one. That's it. He's just shit. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. What else? Nketiah is better than Havertz. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fucking hell, Alex. He said a couple months ago, come on, he already should. He can take his donkey with him. Come on, he can take his donkey with him. Yeah, he was made penalty taker and he still can't get me 10 goals in the season. Like, I give up. I genuinely give up. I said as soon as he got penalties, there is no excuse to not have 10 goals this season. He's not even on that. Get rid. Get rid. Can't be bothered for it. Right, I need to keep scrolling down because I'm really far behind. Willian was a good finisher when he actually decided to shoot, because he'd get to the final third and then he'd just start shaking his leg. Like, just do something. Pass or shoot. Pass or shoot. Lewis, you better celebrate. Bro, yeah, I will be shaking hands with all the City fans. I'll be doing Poznans with them outside the ground. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Is that him saying if he says he can play anywhere across the front three, then he's saying he can play up top. He said, like, after all this time, Chelsea fans should know where my position is. But you've played the majority of your time up top. So you're saying people should know that your position is up top. He's saying it. It's not me. It's not me, bro. He had a tweet on targets, including Willie Orban. Let me check. One thing as well that I saw was Mount and Havertz have been spoken about by Bayern Munich. So keep an eye out for that. If that pops up too. I understand Gift Orban is being scouted and is on Chelsea's young striker list with Victor Rock. Fez, I don't know a single fucking thing about that guy, but Fez. What else? Yeah, where was the Bayern stuff I had? Matt Laws also said I'd expect Trevor Chalobah to leave Chelsea this summer, probably on a permanent transfer, but I'm not sure on that part. If he wants to leave, fair enough. If Colwell comes back, we probably need to get rid of someone, so it means Chalobah will probably be that guy too. But yeah, I ain't too fussed. Big up to Trev. I think you've been a good servant for us, but if we're upgrading the position, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I hope you succeed wherever you go. Yeah, the names of Havertz and Mount are discussed internally by Bayern, but there is. The club didn't follow up with concrete steps as of now. Too early for it anyway. Hopefully they come in for either of them. If Bayern Munich drop a bid on either of them, except the first one, unless you obviously want to up it for negotiations, but that's the ideal club to sell them to, just so you don't have to see either of them in England. The attack on Havertz is just as baffling from you as it. Why? He's been shit for us for 3 years. Why should I be patient anymore? Why should I be patient? I've got no reasons. No reasons to be patient. Because he's been played up top consistently for about 2 years. Yes. Yes. That's it. Goalkeeper kit's been leaked. Let me have a look. I'll check that quickly and then I'll send the link out. Oh, well, I've spelled that wrong. Oh, that is nice. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, Josh, to me, that is him saying he's a striker. He could easily come out and say, like, I'm not being played in my natural position, but it's okay. No, he's saying he can play in that position, so I will judge you as that. But yeah, that's the new goalkeeper kit. What's everybody saying? I like it. I really like it. That's not a bad design, personally. Texas, he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Yeah. Why would he do that? Maybe to take away some of the criticism on him. Maybe so fans could be a bit more patient with him. But then again, my patience completely faded after he shushed the Chelsea fans back in September. It was like, you want to shush us because you've been shit? Cool. You better be back in GNA. And they did nothing. Bright Guy, if you've seen that, send that to me. Send that to me. Because I'd like to see that. I would like to see that. That's not his job to... Well, it kind of is. It's just more you have to defend yourself on the football pitch. And he doesn't do that. But it is kind of his job to defend yourself. As a football player, you don't want to be getting criticised. And you want to be playing at a level that means you don't get criticised. Simple as. But yeah, I'm going to send the link out anyway. Probably end up having this discussion on stream. So big up, everybody. Link is going out. As always, if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, hit the super chat button. And yeah, let's see what everybody's saying. Panel is coming in, people. Panel is coming in. Come on. Cool. Cool. I think that's everybody. Cool. Yeah, that is everybody. Yes, guys. What's everybody saying?
These stupid
What's
people.
everybody
They
saying?
don't know they're stupid, but they
Huh?
really are. I said, I see stupid people.
What, here?
All in your comments. They just about
okay.
brain dead as hell.
But what's
Really,
been happening,
this ain't FIFA. This is real life. I would love Neymar, prime Neymar at Chelsea, but he ain't prime Neymar anymore. And how in the hell does he fit in with what they're trying to do at the club?
Well,
Can somebody explain that to me?
what are we trying to do?
Are they not trying to rebuild through the youth project?
What, from the academy?
No, they're bringing in young players. Youth project doesn't mean the academy.
Yeah, but like, don't you still need a little bit of experience with that as well?
That's what Raheem Sterling was there for.
Yeah, but if I'm picking between Sterling and Neymar, I mean,
but Sterling's already here. Neymar's not, and he's you can bring in Neymar for what, £1 million a week, 900,000 pounds a week. You think
he
he's
won't
going to
come
take
in for that sort of wages? He won't come in for that sort.
Well,
he'd have to take a pay cut.
Okay, is he going to fit our current pay structure that they're trying to reduce players' salaries and give them more incentives? Do you think he's going to do an incentive-laden contract, or is he going to want his paper?
What?
They're changing the pay structure at Chelsea. The base salary will go lower, and there will be incentives in the contract to get you to where you want to be. Do you think Neymar, who's got a guaranteed salary, is going to go to that structure and be happy?
Maybe not, but if not, then you move on. It is what it is.
But you don't bring him in the first place.
But if the option is there and it's favourable to us, we shouldn't say no.
I'm agreeing with Jester. I don't want Neymar.
I was going to say, like, it don't happen often, but I agree. And I love Neymar, but, like, I'm so 50-50 with it because Neymar at Stamford Bridge at Chelsea would be insane because it's Neymar, right? And yes, he's 31, but he's still an incredible player. But the not the injury record, the lack of appearances is a genuine problem, especially when you're going to be paying him so much money. He doesn't fit in any way, shape, or form to what we're doing with the team, what we're doing with the philosophy, what the owners have preached that they're doing. That's the biggest thing for me, is if we get Neymar in, while it's a great signing, it shows these owners are doing everything on a whim. All my faith that I have in these owners completely goes because it shows that all they're doing...
It completely make no sense with what they're saying they're trying to do.
Yeah,
it
just shows all you're doing, every decision you've made from the moment you've got here to now is a complete whim, and we've just got another owner that doesn't have a fucking clue what they're doing and is just going to do things. Like, they'll do things. They might... Bro, it's like having Vince McMahon in charge. Like, you know that as a wrestling fan. They'll wake up one day and just decide, I want the colour of our kits to be red. Don't know why. I just fucking want it. It's like, it doesn't... It's just things on a whim. And, like, again, amazing player, but it just...
He's broken now. His body's
You're saying it's on a whim, but, like, it's something that would improve us, though.
Would it?
Yeah, but you can... My point is, you can do that from, like... You can do that from other avenues in terms of with the same philosophy and the same idea that they've preached in terms of going down the younger route or going down, getting players that fit a certain way. That's what the Mudryk and Madueke signings and basically the whole of the January window is meant to be. So just going the other way and going back to what the summer window was, which was a complete failure, doesn't really seem to me that, like...
Exactly. How much have we just invested on Mudryk as well? And they both play the same. They both play on the left.
Well, that's where you have to ask. Like,
and also, like,
Harrison then Josh.
Yeah, and also, like, for the most part, it's not even like a winger that like we're in need of most at the minute with what we do this upcoming summer. Like, we've already agreed that what we need most is like a DM, a goalkeeper, and a striker. like already spending like over like 130 plus mil on wingers on Mudryk and Madueke, which makes sense for the future of what the owners are trying to do. But then going to buy a 31-year-old, though potentially world-class player, would make absolutely no sense. Like if he's continuously injury prone, he could mess up our wage structure as well that we're trying to fix. And I swear when it comes to their contracts, they have like a 30, like the new contracts that the players are agreeing to with these new owners, they're doing like 30% wage cut decrease or something if they don't get Champions League. So if that's the case, like, why would Neymar want to come to us if he wants Champions League football and then like with the wages that he's on? Does that make sense?
Can you do something for me? Put Justin Aruta's comment up. It just scrolled through. It's about me. I am glad that you finally see my genius. Okay.
Hey, take Justin's burner. Take Justin's burner account. Take his burner account off the screen. What are you doing?
Can't be asked. Josh, what were you gonna say anyway, though, bro? We never got to you.
Well, yeah, because well, to me, it's like I guess you have to ask yourself, like, do we think those young wingers are ready for a full year in the Premier League? Like, do we think Mudryk and Madueke are ready to carry us for a full season through the Premier League? I don't know that they are yet, personally. All the ifs and buts about his contract, like if he's willing to come here, he'd be clearly willing to take some concessions to get here. I believe he's well aware of his age and his injury record. I don't think that the ownership group would do some kind of crazy deal to give him an insane wage, knowing that. So to me, it's up to Neymar. Does he want to come here and try to resurrect some of his career, and is he willing to make concessions financially to do that? That's a different story. If you're talking about getting Neymar here on $1 million a week and all the stuff that comes with him, then no, probably not. But to me, it's up to the player if he's willing to make some concessions to come here. I'd love to have him, to be perfectly honest with you. Someone said potentially world class. No, he absolutely is world class.
This is Wash season. He's got 18 goals, 17 assists.
Look,
right, yeah. So it's a laughable when you like put some of his I don't like people watch. I don't know what you watch when you watch players sometimes, but like he's clearly.
If you go back over the last 5 years, the man's missed so many games of football. It's unbelievable.
A healthy Neymar is
that's the concession part of coming from him. Like, is he willing to do those things to come here? Because we're gonna have to put some of these things in your contract that protect the club. And if he's willing to do that, that shows me, okay, well, shit, maybe he's willing to actually put in the work here. But if he doesn't, then it doesn't make sense for us either. So,
to me, anything we're doing.
I don't doubt the man's class. He's pure class.
Well, did anyone read what Nagelsmann's agent said yesterday about him not coming to Chelsea? Okay, so herein lies kind of the problem on having a team full of young kids that have really not proven themselves anywhere. Is that these managers have like this huge question mark of the recruiting strategy. I don't know if that sets me up as a manager for success right away. Because you're asking me now to manage 20-year-old kids who have not done this at this level ever. And that's going to put an immense amount of pressure on me as a manager. The fans aren't going to be cool with that. Even if we're not winning, even if the kids are young, no one cares. You heard Lewis talking about Havertz is 23 years old. You heard the way Lewis is talking about him. He called him washed and finished. So if the manager is being asked to come in and manage young kids, you're gonna only get a certain kind of manager at that point. So guys like Neymar do make it a bit more interesting for managers to work with, because now you're not having to solely focus on dealing with kids. And if Poch is cool with it, I mean, who am I to turn my nose at it?
Yeah, but we do have Raheem Sterling, who's not a kid. We're going to have Christopher Nkunku, who's not a kid. We're going to have João Felix, who's not a kid. They played long enough in leagues. We can't consider them kids. The two up front that I consider kids would be Mudryk and Madueke, because they have not played at the level.
Happy birthday, bro.
For long enough.
I hear you, Justin. João Felix is also 23 years old. So, like, I hear you. Like, yeah, he's got a lot of experience playing since he's been young. But 23 is not seasoned veteran by any means. Look at the City roster. Their best players are 28, 29, 30-year-old guys. Like, to ask a 23-year-old to be at that level, those are very rare people to be 23 and lighting the game up. I mean, there's just not that many of them. So, yeah, why I get it, 23 with their experience, they've been in teams since they were young, but that's for a reason, because there's an immense amount of talent there that they're trying to get out at a young age, and sometimes it takes a bit of time to mature that. I would still consider 23, especially today, to be a kid. No offense to anyone on the panel, but.
Well, I understand that. I'm talking about the years of experience that they played at the top level of football.
Yeah, none taken.
And to me, you're talking about those players have done that, and so whether you won't say they're a grizzled veteran, they're certainly not like they're straight out of the academy. We're not fielding 11 academy players out there. It's kind of different, right? Enzo Fernandez is not young, but he's played in a World Cup and won it. That tends to make you a little bit higher up than what we're talking about, youth and inexperience. He's had the experience. He's played and won a World Cup. So
yeah, I hear you on that. But I would consider him the exception. Also, if you look at his World Cup team, he's one young guy implanted around all veterans almost. I mean, all those guys are older and have been around that he played with at Argentina. So I get it. Like, yeah, if you had a veteran team and you throw a young Enzo into that mix, like, yeah, it's going to probably make him look much better because you got his young talent and his young abilities around veteran players. But if you throw that into 10 other 21, 22-year-olds, well, now you might see some more flaws that you didn't see before, because that level of experience, while having played games, the experience I'm talking about is winning, going deep into tournaments, winning tournaments, maybe getting to an end and losing one. You get that kind of grit that you get when you lose a championship, that you want to come back and get it, make up for that. Like, those are things that all come with time. And while I get, yes, they've played games, that's not the kind of time I'm talking about. I'm talking about years and years of the grind. And at 23, 22, it's tough to say that they've got that.
And again, I don't think we're bringing in any attackers other than a striker. I want the midfield rebuilt. I mean, that's got to be our focus.
Yep.
Yeah,
we
I
can't
agree.
be just, because that's the half
I
the
want at
problem
least
on
two
the team
midfielders.
is there's no transition from defense to offense. It goes so slow when you allow your team, any team, to put 8-9 players behind the ball before you get any penetration in the final third. It's not going to end well. It just you're not going to have great offensive stats, and so the midfield is the missing piece to this whole thing. It's got to be rebuilt. That's where we got to start. We need to bring in maybe a goalkeeper and a striker, but other than that, the pieces are there to be a successful team. And for me, Neymar is a luxury player. It's the last piece of the puzzle, not a contributing piece. If the team was, already built and we were one player away from winning the league and being the next Man City, yeah, you bring Neymar in, no question. But where we are now, if there's some struggles in the season, does he just turn it off and go, well, what the hell am I playing for?
100%. That's what he's like. That's the kind of character he is.
There's other issues that need to be addressed before Neymar, and I get your points about I have no doubt that if he was to join Chelsea, he would produce. He would be a good football player. That's not what anyone is here questioning. But like, for me, I'm more worried about what comes along with Neymar is what I'm more worried about. Like, what is he going to do to the environment? Is it going to be toxic? Like, that's what I'm worried about. So, I don't think we should be focused on Neymar. I don't even think he's going to come anyway. So, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, it was fairly toxic this season, and he wasn't in our team. So, I mean, there's, toxicity comes in lots of different forms. It doesn't necessarily come with just one player who may or may not have an ego. I get it. I'm a midfield first guy as well. I'd like to, obviously, that it's a huge concern that has to be addressed first and foremost. I completely agree. I'm just not such a staunch no on it as others may be.
I just think as long as it's favorable financially, I'm here for it.
Yeah, again, that's part of my thing. It's got to be concessions on his end
How
from a
much would the
financial
transfer
standpoint.
fee be at this rate? How much?
Well, he's got 1 year left, so
1 year.
Yeah, probably almost nothing.
Yeah, the transfer fee is not the issue. The transfer
the
fee is not the
wage,
issue. It is the wages. And again, why would you bring another winger in? You got to move a whole bunch of wingers out before you bring in.
I agree, Jester. I don't want.
Pulisic and Ziyech are likely going to be.
Yeah, but until they go,
Joe can go.
They
Joe
have
off
to
his
go
wages.
first.
I'm gonna be honest.
I mean,
I don't think he'd be a winger anyway. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he'd be a 10 primarily for us. In a 4-2-3-1, he'd probably be a 10.
I thought
you don't even need to bring back Felix.
I'd rather in Kunku in the 10.
We can have both, but it is
good competition.
And Cuckoo, what did Rodrigo say yesterday? Cuckoo could be one of those inverted wingers, right? Just plays on the central wing. What the fuck did you say?
Yeah, the problem is with both Nkunku and Neymar. They're both.
Central winger. I like that.
They both prefer to drift centrally, which will I don't know.
Again, unless you're gonna play Neymar, like I said, well, as one of the comments said, a false 9 as your main striker. I mean, but I don't think you want to do that.
He ain't gonna want to play in the false 9 either.
So
he wants to be on the ball, doesn't he?
I think we've spent way too much time on Neymar.
The Havertz situation.
As the Bayern situation goes with Kai Havertz, it was Oliver Kahn and his group that said no to Havertz. They said that Havertz wasn't the Bayern typical striker, but they might be on their way out. The board ain't very happy with them this year. So Tuchel might get a little bit more power, and if Tuchel wants to bring Havertz in, they hit that £50 million mark. You get him gone.
Facts, big facts. Ring the bell.
We got to get rid of all these bad Abramovich signings.
We just need clubs to show interest for him because no one's come out right.
Yeah, it was a board signing when we signed Havertz. Remember that?
Yeah,
it was a board signing,
right? I mean, if all the people we signed this year are Boli signings, all the ones we've signed under Abramovich are Abramovich signings. All right, you got to be consistent on that shit.
I rate that. But yeah, we've had plenty of clubs come in for Mount, so we know he's likely to go. It's just Havertz. There isn't really been any interest.
It's because he's shit.
No one wants him.
Well, I think
didn't he have links to Man City at one point?
It's like 1 or 2 links, but nothing.
There is not a hope in hell he's going to City.
He wouldn't go City at all. Can you imagine him in City's team? Fuck it, no.
Yeah, he wouldn't start. He'd just be on the bench. They'll use him for like Carabao Cup.
I don't think he would be their best impact sub to come off the bench. I don't think he'd do that off the bench either.
I think he would do alright at Bayern Munich. I think he'd be alright at Bayern Munich in like a Muller role. And I think I might be wrong, but I see like links of Muller potentially leaving. But I seem to see that every summer.
I think Muller's going to retire there, but he's
like a Muller
he's how
player,
old now? He's not going to be playing every game. He'll be a super sub off the bench.
Yeah, send him back to Germany.
Yeah, and look at what Timo Werner's done going back to Germany.
I think he's got 9 league goals. 10
well,
league goals.
I think he just won them a game the other day. He's been a lot better than he ever was for us.
Oh yeah, that's no question.
So some people's development levels just never get to where we thought they were. That's why scouting is.
Werner has 16 goals and 6 assists this season.
What all comps?
Yeah, all comps.
Yeah.
He's got 9 goals, 3 assists in the league.
And Leipzig's been shocking this year in the league. They haven't been very good. That whole league's been crap. But he's still better in the Bundesliga than he ever was in the Premier League.
He's going to be with that pace, isn't he?
And so with Havertz. Havertz will put up numbers too, and everybody's going to go, "Oh, well, we should have waited on Havertz." it's an easier league to score in. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the space, time, and the intensity isn't that good.
Unless you're Hudson-Odoi.
Unless you're Hudson-Odoi, but he was finished anyway.
I was listening. Big up, everybody. Josh, I was listening to your comments, and I actually totally agree with you. Surprised because I can't stand Neymar, but I have a bigger fear of starting day in, week in, week out with Mudryk and Madueke. I just looked at the lineups, possible lineups with the whole thing. If you will give me options on Mahrez, even anybody beside Neymar, I will totally be happy with it. The problem is there's no links beside Neymar, so that's the only thing. The reason why I will consider Neymar is because there's no other links with anybody else. But if you're telling me that Mudryk and I should trust my whole season on Mudryk and whatever the fuck the guy's name is, Madueke and Sterling. Yeah, those are the three that we have. Madueke, Sterling, what's his name? And Mudryk. So no, I won't.
And
First
of
all, I think it's more
possibly
Felix,
and Kunku, yeah. All
and
two
of
them
not
playing the same way. And they're not playing even in the same position. So if you're gonna tell me that, respectful, I disagree with you on that. The biggest problem people don't understand with Neymar. Neymar is not. They want him out, just like Lukaku wants out. So the fees, the wages is gonna be up to the Neymar. Depends how much he wants out of the PSG.
Right.
So that's the same thing. It depends how much he wants out of PSG. The only reason he sees at Chelsea, and don't get me wrong, I think his injury is the problem. His wages is the problem. If I can fix all that, yeah. That way, if he gets injured, we have a young players to play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have a young players to play and nobody else.
Yeah. It's just tough.
What you said is going to be relevant if you sign Neymar. Toney and Madueke are going to start. I mean, Toney and Mudryk are going to start most games because he's injured most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
So those guys, like, you're going to have the same thing, but the problem is you're going to have a player on maybe 600K, 500K a week playing.
That's the thing that Daniel,
That's me giving them a discount, right? That's me giving them a 50% discount.
That's not a discount, and you know it.
He's already on 600K a week.
What kind of discount if
he's on $1 million a week?
Daniel,
I swear he's on 600.
I've been told $1 million.
I checked yesterday; it said 600.
Well, 600 is still. Even if you took 50%, that'd still be 300K.
He's going to want 350K.
Yeah, that'll make him our top earner or close to it.
So you know, let's just put it this way: the news out there is that we're the only real option, right? Minimal option, not even like a real option for him. What does that say to people that a player of his quality, all the teams in world football aren't looking to get him with 1 year left, but 11th place Chelsea in our worst period in our history is his only option? That doesn't say anything to you guys. If you think Neymar is a guy who is running into a fight for us, it's all red flags to me. Like, I see a lot of red flags we get in Neymar. I get it; he's an amazing player. If we were in where like PSG were, in like when they got Messi, meaning we're the top team in the league, we're trying to get the Champions League or trying to get over the line, you take that risk. You pay him 500K, you bring him in for a couple of years, and you see where it lands. That's not where we are. We're in a completely different state, and we've invested in all these young guys a lot of money that they just need to play. You know, when you bring Neymar in, you make your team around Neymar. That's how you kind of have to, because he's that quality. But there's no point in doing that when you're trying to develop these guys and you've invested all this money and we're shit. Like, you can't bring him in by himself.
Daniel, you're saying, hold on a second, Daniel, you're saying one thing and you contradict another thing. Do you accept Madueke and Mudryk to be as starters week in, week out?
Yes.
Okay. What position do you expect us to be next season then?
I don't know, 6th.
Okay, then it's on you. Like I heard you.
I
What
mean,
you're
so
saying.
Neymar is not going to make it better. He's not going to play. Like, what is the difference in that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I
agree
can
with you,
tell you
Daniel.
that that's a
Totally
whole
agree with
thing with this player not gonna play, this player not gonna
No,
play.
it's going with history. Like when
you've been saying the same
last
crap about
5 years,
Kovacic, about all of those players, and what we finished third, we win that league, we win that cup. You've been saying, I've known you for a while now. You've been telling me about Kovacic injury. You've been telling about Kante's injury. For some reason, we finished third.
Wow, hold on. For some reason, I'm right.
Yeah,
for some reason,
exactly. He's right. You're just
right.
For some reason, Kante has played like 10 games all season.
You're just
what the hell
his
are
point,
you talking about?
I was going to say, you are kind of proving his point. The fact that both guys you just mentioned are now
I'm proving the point that he's right about his injury, but it doesn't supposed to stop us to get to the position where we are trying to reach.
This year?
I mean, if our best players are getting injured, of course it's going to stop us.
No, what I'm saying is, with all those injury, we are still compatible. I'm not saying that you did wrong when you're saying that those are not injured players. Yes, that's what I said. You were saying they're injured players, but at the same time, we are compatible. Now what? How you?
What the hell are you saying? Listen, we had to play.
We're not competing at all. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying this season. I'm saying for the seasons before, because injury with Kovacic and Kante did not start.
We haven't been in a title race for 6 years. That's not competing.
Can I ask you a question?
Top 4 is not competing.
My word!
It's not competing, Alex.
Okay, we're in the final in FA Cup.
Sorry,
we're in the final FA Cup last season.
Yes.
We were in the final in the cup, League Cup last season.
We're talking about the league, Alex.
Are you answering my question or not? Let's do this thing,
league,
like
Alex.
if you want to say it.
You can
Are
get
we
to
or
a
we
cup
not?
final. You can get to a cup final. I'm talking about the league.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Bread and butter of the league. We are not competing in the league for 6 years. We have not had a title race for 6 years. You can get to
by
cup
playing
final.
Mudryk and Madueke a weekend without will make that.
That's my.
I don't know.
Next year, either way, though.
Exactly?
I was going to say, but this is the thing for me, Alex. This is my point. This is the question I want to ask you. If I said to you, okay, you can get Neymar or you can get Rafinha instead for a good price,
Rafinha.
what would you say? Cool, that's my issue with it. It's like, I love Neymar, and it's not a case of I don't want us to get guys that have some experience or that will play instead of Mudryk or Madueke. Like, I don't think we're going to get someone because we've got too many bodies. But my answer to this is, what's the point of getting Neymar where he's at in his career now with the wages he's on over someone else who also has experience, who's going to be here for longer, fit the team better, fit the manager better?
Are you like Rodrigo with math?
What's a good number for Rafinha, Scott?
That's what I was about to say.
Rafinha was the first guy that came to mind, by the way. I'm
40
saying
40
million. Go out and get someone. He was the first guy that came to mind.
It's been quoted double that, by the way. It's been quoted about 80 million.
I say Rafinha was the first guy that came to mind, but it's like, if you can go and get another player, right? If the scouts can do their job and go and get another player, that's my issue. Is like, if we could just go and get someone else instead, it's the same argument with other guys that we've looked at. It's like, if you just go and get someone else instead, and people are asking, who that's going to be? That's what the fucking scouts are for. It's not my job. That's what the fucking scouts are for, to do that. If they're not doing that, they're not doing their job. If you can go and get someone like that instead, then there's no need for Neymar. And this is coming from someone, by the way, so people get it in their heads, is I love Neymar as a player. Literally last summer, I
can't stand him as a player.
Exactly. Last summer, I was begging for him to come. I was saying, Chelsea, do everything you can to get Neymar. Now it doesn't make sense. Where we are right now, it doesn't make sense.
I completely agree with Scott. Yeah.
Dan, I have a quick question.
If you will give me an option, we're not talking about. That's what I kind of like get like frustrated with people, like when we're saying like, get me this. If there's a link to them, we will discuss it. Did I see a link with that? No. When I was yesterday, before Neymar news showed up, yesterday there was a link with Rafinha, and day before yesterday, anybody was saying no to Rafinha. Everybody.
80 mil. I ain't paying 80 mil for that.
Yeah, I don't want Rafinha for 80 mil.
You see what I'm saying? The link stopped. We moved to the different one. Probably will not even cost anything. If PSG wants it out so bad, it could be work out. Same thing with what's his name, like Aubameyang did with what's his name, with Barcelona and just kick them out and finish the contract by paying wages. That's what Chelsea could do it actually.
Maybe it could be a Conte's
contract by paying his full wages for 1 year. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is the financial part is financial part. My problem with it is today's news that Neymar is linked with Chelsea. I can't stand Neymar. I think he's still rolling from the 4 years ago with that fake ass injury that he's supposed to have. That's not the point. My point is today I'm not happy with Mudryk and Madueke as the starting Chelsea players.
I thought Sterling was starting
today. Like, here's the reality: you can't keep trying to quick fix every problem you create by spending a lot more money, right? And you're spending a lot more money on a player who's only going to be here for maybe a couple of years. It doesn't make sense.
But are we talking that much money though, Dan? In reality,
guy said 50. He gives discount 50% discount.
No, hold on. To that point, Dan. If I grant you
the team without Champions League in 11th place, make all these concessions for no money. I mean, if you guys want to say that he comes for 100K a week, sure, bring him in. Like,
hold on a second. Did Thiago Silva cut his wages when he came to Chelsea?
Thiago Silva was 37.
Yeah, he's completely different.
It's not that different. I mean, they're both
Neymar's not coming into England.
It's totally different.
It is totally different. What are we doing here?
Listen, 31
has a contract, meaning he's giving up money. Meaning he has whatever it is, 600K every week that he's giving up. You're telling him to give that up to come to Chelsea in 11th place, no Champions League, and you really think that's gonna happen?
Yeah, okay. Would you take the end of his career?
Hold on a second. It's a just direct question today now. 10 million fee for transfer fee and the 250K a week on 3 year salary, 2 + 1. Would you take it?
No.
Okay, that shows the role. It doesn't matter how much you talk about. The fee is not a problem. You just don't want them there.
Right.
That's the difference. Don't bring no Daniel.
We're in a
don't bring no fees.
Now.
Don't
We're
bring
in a
no nothing
right now, right? A player like I mentioned earlier, a player like Neymar is a player you get when you're trying to overcome the top. It's not a player get digging you out from the freaking bottom.
We're talking about getting a full how you say it, on a permanent basis with Felix. That's the dumbest thing I can actually tell you that Chelsea could have done. But there's looks like it could be possible.
I don't rate Felix. I haven't gone back and forth on him, but there's no point. He's 23. At least I can say, in terms of youth, he can develop and give me something, and he can play with this team for the next 4 or 5 years. If I'm trying to rebuild a team, rebuild a spine, why would I bring in one of the spines to be a broken player who's in his 30s?
On the decline.
That's not you and Chad, is it?
Who plays like 30 games in his first years for us, like was playing almost every game. Sure. This guy doesn't even play.
Exactly.
Daniel, is that you in chat saying keep Mount, buy Rice, buy Osimhen, will be fine? Because you got 2 out of 3 wrong.
Don't ask me stupid questions.
Is it you?
No, it's not him.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking because if I'm gonna roast somebody, I want to get the right person.
Like,
Dan, if you want my attention, you can ask for it. We can roast each other. I love that. But
I mean, still, we're talking about somebody we haven't put a bid in now, going on the 7th window. We're still talking about freaking Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's not divert the conversation to bullshit. Listen.
Yeah.
Dan, can I just address? I just want to address the 2 points you made earlier. One about the salary at 500K, and then one about the options that he has, the minimum options. So for me, I guess it doesn't really matter now because you said basically on no salary you wouldn't take him. But if I granted you the 500K, what if it was 200 base and a 300 bonus to get to that 500? You still would say no to that?
No, I'm saying no either way.
Right. So you just don't want him. It's not. There's no particular reason for it.
No, there is a reason. The reason is that we've invested, like you guys have said, 120 million in wingers, right?
And kids, young kids.
We've had them for half a year, and then we want to decide to bring in a player who is a fucking superstar, is one of the greatest players that's ever played, to come in to do what, sit on the bench to let them play. So
the opposite of that.
Why not?
What's going to happen
on the bench?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you an NFL term. Do you know what red shirt means? Do you know what the rookie?
This is the NFL, man.
I know, but do you like?
Well, let me just address
you're not redshirting. Listen, you're not redshirting. Tom Brady, bro. You can't redshirt Tom Brady. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, look. For me, it's not about the money. It's not about the minutes. It's the fact that Neymar is a final piece to the puzzle. Not, if you're building a puzzle,
it's not a building block.
He's on the decline, by the way.
Together, and then you put this final piece in the center. That's Neymar. So it's not about wages. It's not about minutes. It's not about injury history. It's the fact that he is a final piece, not a building block in the team. And if there's talking about building a team, then this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Alex, you touched on it earlier. I guess it depends on your expectation for next season.
Exactly.
I expect to compete next season.
Exactly.
Maybe not for the title, but at least for top 3, top 4.
Exactly.
No doubt.
So for me,
what other players would you say are ready to compete in this team? Since Modric and Toney aren't, like, are the other? It's like everybody else ready, and all you need is Neymar, or?
Well, we do.
I think a striker, damn it.
I guess I'm. Yeah.
No. I will answer that today. No, the targets are still goalkeeper, midfielder, and a forward. We're talking about extra. We're not talking about what's the basis of it. We need more those 3 players. We're just talking whatever the links of this.
If you expect to compete next year, the goalkeeper, the midfielder, and the striker have to be of like top quality, right? Of competing quality, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean I'm saying those should be addressed before Neymar as well too. I'm not saying just take Neymar first and get it over. I'm saying let's address goalkeeper, midfield, forward, and then once you've done that, now you can look at where are we at? Where can we fit Neymar? Did we bring Felix in? Yes or no? Like that allows you to address those concerns. I'm purely speaking on Neymar just as a one-off, not really.
The reason why I said that was this, right? I don't think those 3 players are going to be of ready to win now quality, right? I just don't think they are. We're going to get somebody maybe like an Ugarte, who was an extremely talented young player, but again, that's another young guy. Or Lavia, who's 19. You know what I'm saying? In center mid. And
Casado, 21.
You can talk about Osimhen all we want. We're not touching Osimhen. De Laurentiis he's an ass. He's gonna ask for his 150 mil. So there's just what strikers are we going to get? It's going to be a young guy.
Here's the thing with the midfield. Midfield youngsters versus the strikers youngsters. Midfield, they can be youngsters for one particular reason, and they can perform because midfielders don't need that much. They don't affected by mentality as much as the strikers or offensive players do. I credit to the front 3 are more towards mentality sometimes than actual physical ability, because if you get in the head, not conceding the fees and stuff like that, that could be mentally challenging. That's why I'm kind of okay with, and you can see it by the spectrum of the all football. The young midfielders, the players that we used to like a young, they not like coming like later stage. For example, mentality for the defender is different than mentality for the midfielder. That's why older players become better players in defense. That's why strikers become better players in the later stage of the life.
I never said young or not. I said ready to win the Premier League.
I'm not asking about you young or not. I'm not even.
I'm saying it's not about how young they are. If you're expecting us to win or to challenge, not even win, challenge for the Premier League.
I can't believe somebody wrote that shit.
Those 3 players need to be of challenging Premier League quality. It doesn't matter if they're young or not. I'm saying those type of quality players, let's say like a young center mid that you would get, for me of that quality is a Casado, right? That's a 90 million player that would have to spend. I don't think
that's why Arsenal fans are deluded as hell.
I don't think
you cannot put Bukayo Saka and Neymar in the same sentence.
I think he's getting nibbles. He's a troll.
Look, Daniel.
That is stupid.
Daniel, I don't even know where you put that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the youngsters that we, for example, even if you're not touching, let's say that Mudryk and Madueke is not like they don't kick in. Who we got behind them?
Pulisic,
Sterling,
Neymar, Pulisic, Ziyech,
Sterling,
Nkunku, Sterling. I mean, they're still all on our books until they get moved out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On behind them, it's if we will say that those are two definitely leaving, which I think Pulisic and Ziyech are definitely leaving. I will not count them as a players. If those two do not kick in, and I promise you they won't, because I just watched even 4 games with Madueke and some games with Mudryk, I know for a fact. And the young kids, that the quality of the player, not based on how you perform in a specific tournament. Jester, I heard you when you were talking, I was driving. That's not how it goes. For me, the mentality of the player and the experience as a player does not go into the World Cup. Josh, by the way, give a really good example with Enzo about how much the surrounding players are better around them are better. That's why when Thiago Silva plays, even young defenders are playing better around them. That's how you get your experience ready. For me, the biggest problem with the young players, it's not how they play. It's get them 7 out of 10 consistency. That's when you get it. Not how good they are. It's how they needs to be stable. 7 out of 10 minimum in the game. That's what you need to reach with those kids. So if those kids don't perform 7 out of 10, I promise you, do you think Lewis is rough from Kai Havertz? Wait until the other fan base will get catch of Madueke and Mudryk, because we football fans are not known for their patience. They never do.
Well,
look at the guy. Not this fan base. That's for sure.
Yeah. The fans are going to do.
I'm not finished, Daniel. Ghana 14. Look what he's saying about Saka.
God damn, it's a monologue.
That's not that. Hold on a second. If those players do not kick in, if those players don't kick in, who's behind them? Felix? Who's behind them? What's his name? Nkunku? The guy that never touched the field in the Premier League before? So if one doesn't kick in and the other one that's coming, it's not even kicked in at all, and you want me to believe that I'm going to be trusting the whole season based on that? No.
Listen, your board of directors signed these guys and they trust them. So
is it not your board of director?
Yeah, it's my board. That's why I trust them.
Say that. My board of director.
Yeah, I'm telling you because you're the one who's doubting these quality of these guys.
I'm not doubting them.
Not the quality. Yeah, not the quality.
I'm not doubting them.
You just want something more experienced and trustworthy.
Jesus Christ! I'm not doubting them. I'm saying there's always a procedure of how youngster players. I swear, oh my God, this Mount situation, it's basically the reason why he became who he became. I can't believe we actually.
How many games in the next season do you think the fans will let Noni go without a goal or an assist before they start calling him washed at 20 years old?
How do you think he do that to everybody?
He's starting next year?
Yeah, first we'll have to wait for Pochettino.
Why do you think Ziyech and Pulisic will still be here next year? There won't be. These guys are gone
until they've been sold.
Okay. Well, we're not talking about them right now.
Hold on a second. Why are they not playing now?
Ziyech has been playing.
Okay, as a sub.
Yeah, Ziyech had some stop appearances. Pulisic had one stop.
If they are on the books, why Pulisic not playing?
Forest?
I don't know. I don't coach the team. I couldn't tell you why he's not playing.
So why it can't be happening?
What I'm saying is, I don't think that they're going to be here. But as of right now, they're on our books to be here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Obvious. I kind of got that point. I knew that.
Yeah, well, I'm speaking up when I speak about next season.
Why are we talking about a position we're stacked in?
Yeah,
Josh, even if they're not here next year, right? So even if those guys are not here, we don't know what Poch wants to do. Let's say we keep
sure.
Well, if Poch wants to play a system that he plays Felix in Nkunku, that leaves one left spot, right? With a striker there. If he wants to do that. If he wants to play a 4-2-3-1, he plays Nkunku, he plays Felix. There's one spot left. Let's say that spot is for Sterling. That means what? Madueke and Noni are on the bench, right?
Well, that's fair. Like, hey, listen, Dan, if you're gonna,
I got him. Who's gonna play?
But you owners invested so much in the young talent. What happened, Daniel? Why are we not starting if we are changing the team?
He said, "What if, Poch?" He said, "What if?"
Oh, God.
Dad, if you're gonna
I gotta bounce. Y'all have a blessed day. Keep talking about
That's
Neymar.
real.
He's not gonna play for us, but we got other targets to hit. Midfielder.
You never know. You never know.
Striker. And yes, Osimhen is still an option. He's a good option.
No,
I think Osimhen comes
other players in return.
I
So it's still an option.
I don't see Osimhen happening.
120 is far away.
Why do you not see it happening?
He's not going to be 120. He's going to be double that. He's going to be double what they signed him for.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with Scott and Dan on the side. Osimhen's not going anywhere.
Yeah, brother.
He has 1 year left next summer. They're gonna have to make it.
And again, this is another thing. If these owners splash 150 mil on Osimhen,
I mean, next
like,
summer.
what, like, if unless you can get that from the player sales, if you're splashing 150 more on Osimhen, again, if that's the last signing we do and you get the other pieces in, then it's a different conversation. If they go and do that before signing anyone else, that's again, it's just like, what the fuck's the point?
Trouble is, Scott, though, who else you go and get in the 9? Do you know what I mean? They're all that kind of money.
They're not all that kind of money, but you have to be very selective on what you like. First of all, there aren't that many elite strikers in the world as it is. Maybe less than a handful, to be honest with you.
Let's not bite what Jester did. Jester farted in the stream and left, and we've start a new conversation. I want to finish that conversation that we started. Daniel,
sure.
When you said that the owners, like how much they invested in those young kids and blah blah blah, but then you're saying like, hold on a second, if the system is that, so those young players will not even start.
Oh shit, other young players are starting because we're investing in all these fucking young guys, right? If you sign Felix, that's another 80 million on fucking Felix, right? To sign him, to bring him into the club, right?
Unless they get him on a loan again, which is also a much cheaper option.
I've accepted in my head that we're signing, that we have all these young guys.
No, it's not.
I've accepted that we have. Hold on, I've accepted that we have, Mudryk here, we have Noni here, Felix is here. I think he's gonna stay, right? So you have those three guys, those three young guys that have to play because if you spend 80 on Felix, you spend all this money, or even on loan, 30 million for a 1-year loan. You're not doing that for you not to sign him at the fucking end, right? Because that would be 2 years. You spent 50 million for one and a half year. It wouldn't make sense. You would have to sign it. So you're getting those three young guys. You have Sterling, who's your highest paid player there. He's still there. And then you have Nkunku coming in at 25, who's coming in for 65 million, who's coming in as a senior head. So in my head, the way I would play it out is Nkunku starts in the middle. You have Mudryk off the left, and you have Noni off the right. That's what I would do. But even if you're doing that and things gets a little spooky, you can still bring Sterling in. You can still bring Felix in.
Sterling is going to be the one that's
not going to divert all the way and go to Neymar.
That's funny.
Sterling
is going to be the bench play. That's so freaking.
Well, Dan, if Poch did play the 4-2-3-1, that's basically you get four attackers. So if you told me those four were Felix, Neymar, and Cuckoo and a striker, or in Cuckoo and Sterling, if it's those four, then yeah, I mean that looks much brighter than having Nkunku and Mudryk just on the left and right for the whole season. Like,
we're not getting a striker with that then.
Well, yeah, if we didn't get, that's basically what I'm saying, because I'm in the mind that Osimhen is not going to happen at all. Right. From my point of view, if we're not going to get Osimhen, then there's not really a striker that I would want to invest a ton of money in right now. Currently, I would either buy a younger guy or keep Lukaku. I know no one wants to do that, but I wouldn't just, if I couldn't get Osimhen, just go buy 60-70 million for Toney. Toney's going to be suspended a minimum 6 months. So I'm not spending that kind of money on a guy who's going to be gone half the year. So for me, it's like either keep Lukaku or just don't sign a striker this summer unless it's a young prospect like Højlund or something like that.
Do you think another solution could be because we talk about the youngsters? I frequently hear the youngsters will give an opportunity to Madueke and Mudryk. But what about the likes of Broya and Joshua Fana, who are strikers? If we don't get one of those big name strikers, I think we should give them an opportunity.
I think they'll both go on. I think they'll both get loaned.
No, you have their number.
I hear what you're saying, Sage. I think those guys probably both get loaned. In my opinion, just because Bro's just coming off a big injury, they'll probably want to get him somewhere where he can get minutes. And Fofana, we just haven't seen anything of this year, so it's like he'll probably get some sort of Premier League or Championship loan to try to play consistently. It's just a personal opinion. Outside of Osimhen, I don't find there to be that many
options,
top class elite strikers that I would spend that kind of money on. If Toney didn't have any issues, I'd be completely fine with buying him for a certain amount of money. But if you can't get Osimhen, I don't want to just splash cash on a guy just because to have a striker. I'd rather build other parts of the team and make it work for next season without an actual number 9 if we have to.
If we're gonna go for that another Inter Milan player,
the Toro Martinez.
I don't want him either.
Yeah, he's an interesting player, but I'd buy himself up top. I'm not quite sure he's the answer.
He works better in a 2.
He works better in a 2. Yeah, he's always worked better in a 2.
I'm kind of
just to go through the super chat quick. President Jafar said, "Keep Felix or sign Neymar. Choose one."
Keep Felix.
Probably keep Felix myself. If those are the options.
Yeah, because
on a loan, Scott. On a loan.
Because you haven't specified that. I'd keep him on a loan.
Basically, the only reason why I keep Felix is because he's more available.
Take a bow.
Yeah. Well, and I just think he's supremely talented. He has tons and tons of abilities.
If Neymar was a little bit more fitter than what he is, I'll take Neymar.
What is
sure? Neymar wasn't getting hurt on a yearly basis.
His injury record's awful, Lewis.
Or was it? Yeah, Neymar's is really bad.
Let me pull up. Oh shit!
It's not even just injury record. Actually, it's like suspensions, injuries,
his sister's birthday.
It's like the amount of games he's missed in general, just through suspensions, injuries.
I said there's a page.
Wait,
2.
injury rest.
I said page 2. It's page 3, bro.
Yeah, but I think that goes back to Barcelona as well.
That goes way back. It looks like. What are some of these teams?
The first page.
I'm saying rested injury. What is this?
I said rest.
1 day
rest.
Look at this, bro. Look, I'm just saying fitness. Bro, man, it's 8 games just from fitness.
Those are 30-day rehab. Those are 30-day rehab stints, boys.
This is all in the last 2 years.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. His motivation for me to coming into the Premier League at 31, I don't know if it'd be there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he has it that motivation. I mean,
we talked about this last summer, and a year further down, it makes even less sense to bring this guy into this team, especially when you look at the way our team is now. This is not the kind of player we need right now. We need an experienced player, but not in the one of Neymar in the situation we're in. New manager coming in. We're building. I think this is a huge difference with what Alex was saying. Ultimately, we don't expect us to be in a position where you're getting a Neymar now to kind of get us over the line. We're not there. We're not ready to compete like that. And to bring this guy in is too much of a risk. We're too volatile. He's too volatile. It doesn't mix.
No, it don't.
I don't know. I feel like it does help us, but it depends on just.
It helps in terms of it does raise a player of his ability. Obviously, raises the level of the team when he plays.
You know,
and if he can fit into the system 100%, it's more of like, how often is he going to play? Like, is he going to fit what the manager actually wants to do?
Play 1 game a week.
Even so, bro. Like, also, is he going to fit what Poch wants to do? I don't think he is. He's already used him. Bingo, brilliant. I just don't everything.
So if you miss 1 week, that feels like you missed the 2 weeks. Then if you just miss 1 game, that means that you didn't play for 2 weeks.
Fucking hell,
Look,
man. Fair enough. Good comeback.
The only reason I'm talking about Neymar because there's nobody else that linked. I will give you a list of the players I will take instead of Neymar. And
Let's go.
Phillips.
Let's America. Let's
I
go.
don't think we're getting a winger though, because I don't.
Any wingers? Like, what do
Yeah, we don't. I don't think we're getting wingers.
No,
We've
we
already
need a
got.
nine.
Yeah,
even
but
if
Alex,
it's
As our
looking to
position,
sell,
we need to think.
I'll say even if we're selling the ones we're looking to sell, that's 3 wingers. We're playing 1 game a week. Like, and you've got Nkunku can play out wide. You've got Felix can play out wide. Havertz can play out wide. He's still going to be here next season as well. Don't get it twisted. He's not leaving. Like,
Scott, I agree with you, but this is where, to me, where like formation of the manager comes into play big time. Because, like, with guys like with Tuchel and with Potter playing a back 3, you didn't necessarily need all the wingers we have because you're only 2 of them are really playing. But in a 4-2-3-1, well, now you might need 6. You might need 2 for each role. It's kind of like
Josh. You know what's funny?
like,
when he mentioned all those wingers, it's actually give me a less confidence.
You're listening. Everyone was listing off guys that not a single person wants here right now, let alone next year. So it's like when you're saying names like Ziyech, Pulisic.
I don't rate Mudryk either, but god damn, it's been half a year.
You can't. That's what I mean. You can't rate. You can't not.
Well, I don't not rate him, Dan. I think he actually is going to be an extremely extremely good player. But he just like. It's gonna. I don't know if he's ready to play every single game.
How does he become that extremely good player?
It's not that I don't rate him future or I don't rate it talent.
Sure, I don't disagree.
I just don't rate it weekly next season.
Yeah. But listen, unfortunately, that's the reality, right?
This is where we are.
When you have these type of young players, usually a team that's smart, you have an experienced team and you have 1 young guy or 2 young guys that you just play every game and you just deal with them messing up and deal with them growing. We fucked up and said, you know, we're just going to get all these young guys. And now we're trying to figure out how we're going to like blood them in and actually play them and figure it out. The worst thing you can possibly do, especially with a player like Mudryk, who I think has a long way to go, is have him off the bench, not getting playing time, and you having to shuffle between, I have to give Felix time and Nkunku time, Neymar time. I have to give Sterling time because he's still going to be here and he's still going to be a highly paid player. I have to give all these guys time. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have another failure like we have a Pulisic, another 60 million player we signed, and then after 2 years we have to get rid of him. What's the point? Like, I'm tired of this.
Exactly.
Also,
I kind of
Poch's got
60 million. He doesn't really play. He's off the bench. He's fighting with another young player, and then he gets sold. Like, I kind
of feel like this season where the expectations, let's be honest, or the next season would have dropped a little bit. This is an ideal time to have those players play. Give them the minutes they can.
Exactly.
They'll gain an experience from the season. Next season, hopefully, or the season after, we've hopefully top 6, top 4 will be more competitions. The expectations will raise a little bit. You bring in even more reinforcements to help everybody.
You know what?
This season, it's okay. Just kind of throw them in there.
Yeah.
Next season.
So let me tell you a little bit. What's the name? You think that guy with a pillow behind my threw me off the freaking? Does Redneck have a hemorrhoid pillow behind him? That's a neck rest, you dumbass.
There's hemorrhoid pillows.
This is hemorrhoid pillow. Well, I don't know what kind of ass problems you have, dude. But anyway, look, do you think that fans will accept the team the playing bad if the team does not play bad? If the team start bad next season, Moyo, you're gonna be lucky nobody's find you.
I don't care
because you nobody in the world. That's what I'm trying to say. You are nobody to actually. If that kind of approach gonna be from a manager, because if let's face it, what you think you're hoping what manager is gonna do next season, Moya. But the manager, just think of Chelsea fans next season if we don't start and all those young players don't perform weekly. Pochettino is out. The whole thing is gonna be even worse. You think Chelsea after this season, Chelsea fans will even accept a slight average performance? You mad?
If I can't lie, if Chelsea being like that, that's on them. Like if you get an average performance for a young player in their first full season of Premier League football, depending on when we are in the season, like, I'm sorry, that's on you.
If
your
fans aren't realistic,
if you're expecting them to come in and instantly look like Mbappe does or Haaland does now or Neymar did when he first came in at Barca and things like that, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. I'm just going to tell you straight, you're a fucking idiot if you're expecting those sort of performances straight away. Because we're not in a form like that as a team. We've got a new manager coming in. Like, the expectations, you said, are basically none for some people in the fan base because of last season or the season just gone. Like, if people are expecting that straight away, I'll say it again, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't understand why people don't.
You hear that, Moya? You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Scott, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd be so quick to think so many fans think that just because of this year, next year is going to be bad too.
See, this is what we have to stop doing with the fans thing. We're going to keep operating.
They kind of drive the club.
If they're not realistic, if they're not realistic enough to see where we are this season and see it's not going to be an overnight transformation next season, then that's on them, and they can whine and bitch about it all they want. Ultimately, it should be they spent months.
They did that this year, and they got the manager sacked. So.
Well, they spent months negotiating with Pochettino. I'm sure he's put something in there that secures him. So the owners can decide to cry about it again. But if they don't have any kind of integrity as to sticking with what they're saying they want to do with this club, then that's on them as well. If they want to just go with the whim of the fans, that's on them. If that's how they want to run their business. Yeah. But it's not going to be an overnight transformation, and no one should expect it. People will complain, but it is what it is.
And the thing with the owners and with Poch is like, unless we're in this sort of position again next season, and if we're in this sort of position again next season, then Lord help these owners. Then I just want them to ignore what the fans think, because at the end of the day, I want them to push what they think is best for the club in terms of their vision. Because at the end of the day,
basically, two months of the bad. Hold on a second, Scott. You just said two seasons of bad shit, and they're supposed to ignore fans and go on based on what they think is better for Chelsea, based on what they've done for 2 years. If the next season we're going to be in the same shit,
what I just said. No, if you listen to what I literally just said,
okay.
As long as this next season is not as bad as this season, which I don't think it will be, then I want them to ignore the fans, because at the end of the day, your actions will determine what's going to happen. Like, if you're just going to do things, again, I spoke about doing things on a whim. If you're just going to do things on the whims of the fans, I'm sorry, any club that listens to their fan base, and this goes for any club, like when it comes to the runnings and the dealings of a football club from season to season, then that's stupid. You should do things based on what you think is best going forward, because then
Arsenal, that's why we're so successful for past 20 years, because they have listened to the
fans. I'm not talking about Arsenal. I'm just talking about in general. I'm talking about if you succeed.
I'm just giving you one example of the team that the owners does not listen to the fans.
So Liverpool's owners and every other team apart from City listen to the fans.
I'll say we can do this back and forth. If you give me an example, I give you an example. We can do all this, and it's just stupidness. Anyway, as I was saying, if you succeed, then the fans will get behind you anyway with what you've done. And if you fail, and we have another season like we've just had, then all it does is just show that you are nowhere near good enough to be like an owner. And then at that point, we can start going, okay, we've had now 2 seasons of them doing the same thing. But right now, I believe that it will be better next season than this. It cannot be as bad as this next season. We've got a better manager than we did before. Like, we've got the people in place behind the scene to have better recruitment than we did in the summer. And I'm not saying, by the way, to not have ambition, but you can have differing levels of ambition.
And you can be a little bit realistic.
Just before you go, I'll just read a super chat. Big up African Giant saying we can be patient, but we can also be somewhat ambitious. We still are Chelsea fucking football club. Love that. Same problem we had with Potts. He didn't help himself even as much as we all wanted to work. Exactly. Graham Potter sounded like he had fuck all ambition. He was just happy.
I think that's kind of like
Lewis. How he sounded doesn't really matter. If he was 6th right now, he wouldn't be fired.
Right. But that's the big difference, though, Dan. Right?
He was acting like everything was fine.
And 6th is way lower than Chelsea quality. We are a challenging team. We're supposed to win the fucking league. But in terms of them giving him time and everything else, his main problem was that he was just so fucking bad. So if Poch comes in, and let's say he finishes 5th next year, it doesn't matter what the fans say. You don't fire him. because you don't go from a team that's mentally and tactically and all these things have landed themselves in 11th place. They're not pulling themselves up to 5th place. Please don't mention what we did back in 2014, 15, and all those times in 16, 17. That team was a team of champions that fell down. These team, the only player who's going to be left that has won a league title is maybe Conte. And Conte is top too. So it's like all these guys, they have no real pedigree in terms of winning. The ones who do are always injured, like Reece. So it's like
Dan, I agree.
You have to.
I agree with you, Dan. I think like if the team is somewhere like in the 5th to 6th range, I think the fans will be okay with that next year. From like you're not going to be hearing boos every week at halftime and full time if they're finished 5th or 6th. I think what Alex and myself are maybe saying is if it's worse than that, like say they go on a run of like 10 games where we don't get a result or something, and the fans at the stadium start booing at halftime, booing at full time, booing it, they've shown this year they will listen to that. They will make responses based off that. Now I don't think any of it, I'm not certainly under the impression that we're going to be as bad next year as we were this year, and I also agree with you completely that if we are somewhere in that 5th, 6th, I think that is a reasonable place for the team coming off of this season. I don't think the fans would be crazy upset with a finish like that. I think it just, you fall into problems when you start to have like consistent runs like Potter did, where you're like 2-19, 2-18, 2-20, like then the pressure starts to, mount from fan base.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you, if we finished 12th this season?
We're 11th now.
Probably 10th or 11th by the end of the year.
So if we'll end up finishing 10, 11, or whatever, and the next season we're going to be 8. What do you think?
Maybe more of an issue. Maybe more of an issue at 8th. I'm talking like 5th, 6th. Get you another season.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if we're gonna start the season based on what I saw, people saying that this is probably going to be most common start in 11. I'm not putting the top 6 for this.
Here's my thing, though. We have to give the manager the best chance for him to get what we're asking him to get. So if we're asking him to get a top 6 finish, right? And the moment he got signed or whatever, the first things that were coming out is he wants a goalkeeper, he wants a DM, and he wants a striker, right? Nothing about a winger. So give him exactly what he wants of the highest quality, and this is your goal. Get to this level. Because finishing 8th is not, you cannot finish 8th. Not with the money we spent, not with the quality of players that we have. 8th is not okay. For me, 5th is a compromise for me. But I'm only giving you a compromise. I have to give you the right tools that you're asking for. You're asking for a striker, get him a striker. He's asking for a center mid or a DM, get him a DM. If he's asking for a top keeper, get him a top keeper. Spend all your money, your focus, and your energy on getting that spine that he's asking for, so he has the right base. So moving forward, if you want to you can't skip the process and start getting players that we might think, oh, these guys are better, blah, blah, blah. But that's not
alternatives.
You have to
Alex and Josh.
Ryan Winter, I want your apology for insulting my pillow.
I've got a question.
Just before you go, African Giant, again, appreciate the donation. Good to see you back. Says, in the context of building a project, if Potter was sick, of course it would be progress. We would all expect better placement next season as well. I think there would have been a lot more patience for Graham Potter if we were in that sort of position.
Yeah.
It was just the fact we were genuinely in relegation form from the entirety of Potter's reign. And it was just indefensible. There was poor management every game.
I'd say especially after January. Like up until January, you could make excuses. Everything after January was completely unacceptable. We got the players in. Like, he'd had enough time. He'd had that period over, like, when we had 2 weeks off for the World Cup or whatever it was.
The form after January was worse than the form pre-January. And that's probably because we added so many players that he couldn't even really work with them. You don't want to do the exact same thing with Poch coming in. Like, not give him the right players, but add, like, extra problems for him to deal with. Like, oh, now I have to deal with 6 wingers, and there's no need for that. There's not that many games next year.
This is true, by the way. Like, it does matter in terms of, if Poch gets players that he wants or says he can work with, and it goes all wrong, then obviously things need to change and whatnot. But
what if Poch said, I want Neymar?
I did have a question for Josh and Alex, because this all started based on talking about Madueke and Mudryk and what they could not start with, right? So, for you two, do you not think that if one of those, just one, Because I think it's going to be Sterling, Nkunku, a new striker, and then one of those two probably starts next season. So with one of those guys starting week in, week out, you don't think we're good enough to finish 6th?
Are you telling me Nkunku's gonna come to the Premier League and just hit from the start?
Okay. So you're telling me, hang on. So there's kind of two questions with this. Do you think that Nkunku's going to be good enough for us to finish 6th? And do you think one of those guys is good enough for us to finish 6th?
Do what?
I think if one is starting, I'd feel confident. I'd feel more confident if it was just one of them, and maybe they sort of
I actually will
kind of
take
alternate on
Sterling
form.
from the beginning of the season over Nkunku because I don't know who Nkunku is.
I don't care which of the two you want starting. I'm saying one of those two starting week in, week out, and then the other 3 I named you, and then Nkunku. Like, do you think he's going to be good enough to get us 6th? And do you think one of those guys playing week in, week out is good enough to get us 6th?
That's a fair point, actually.
I think if one is playing with 2 or 3 other sort of more senior kind of quality players, like I don't think that's nearly as bad for the shape of the team as if both have to start every week. And it's not even a talent thing. It's not even it's not even a talent thing for me, Scott. It's more of like just it's a lot of pressure to put on young kids every single week. So if you're telling me like, yeah, maybe one's going to start, he's going to play a few weeks, and maybe he has a run of form, and then we'll give the other guys some minutes. It's just I think it's better,
way, right? If you have Mudryk playing 30 games in the league next year, right? Even if he's awful in 15 of them, he's going to develop over the course of that season. He's going to get a lot better that the following year he's ready to be a star guy for you on that left side. You have to kind of just like, it's like growing pains, right? You kind of have to suffer through it and just.
I wanted to do that this year. I wanted to try that this year.
Some of these young guys, it's like the pain of like a Martinelli, right? When he was. Arsenal fans cursed him out more than anybody. They just stuck to it because
African giant, take care, brother. Bless.
We're just gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to just stick to one guy.
Also, the point
I actually see more Mudryk is gonna develop better in the finished product of the player than I see
fair. My point was like whichever of the two you want starting or you think is going to be better, whatever. But the thing I was going to say is like a counterpoint based on something I thought you were going to say but you didn't. It's like if you think that either of these guys aren't good enough to at least get us 6th, why did we buy them? Because it's not a talent thing for me at all, Scott. It's mostly just like a pressure of expectations thing.
This is the pressure of the young players that doesn't think and I'm telling, and the reason why
Alex, I think that pressure comes from the fans, and then it goes back to the conversation of like if you're expecting these guys to hit, and like Dan was saying about Martinelli, like if you're expecting these guys to come in and be like beaters straight away, then your expectations are stupid. No. But like that's the thing, and I think that's where the pressure comes from. I don't think the pressure comes from the manager. I don't think it comes from the board, really. I don't think it comes from anyone but the fans. And at the end of the day, fuck the fans. Like
the reason why I think it's a fair point. For me, the biggest problem was that people saying that we're gonna start those two at the game in, game out. That's the problem. If you're saying that the Sterling is or that guy is, I'll give you a shout. Okay, that's a fair point. The problem is you're not gonna tell me that I will believe you that Nkunku comes in and kicks in from the game 1. That's what it is.
If he's
the second person is let me finish then. The second was it's Felix behind him. Then it's gonna be Kai Havertz behind him. And another thing with the young talent that what's happening that people don't realize, young people are okay. For example, Mudryk, if he's gonna be okay on the bench, is he gonna be okay on the bench because Sterling is playing in front of him, and he plays the way people know that Sterling? You see what I'm saying? For example, if Sterling plays in front of Mudryk, and whoever plays in front of Nkunku, Nkunku plays in front of Madueke. So, for example, everybody knows how Sterling is, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if I'm a young kid on the bench, I'm literally will challenge and say, "You benching me for this?" You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about for the other players. For example, if you bench a player like investment player like Mudryk or like Madueke, and you have somebody's name, I'm not saying Neymar. I'm not like, if you give me a better option, I will take that option over Neymar any day. But we're talking about the Neymar specifically. So you tell me that the kid like Mudryk gonna complain saying that why am I bench for the Neymar? Another thing is those young kids supposed to learn from somebody. Like you said, the players are actually experienced good players. Like Thiago Silva. Chalaba was one of the best center backs when he played beside Thiago Silva. Everybody agree with it? Everybody who plays beside Thiago Silva automatically becomes the better player as a youngsters. So for me,
because they're going to
you're
learn.
Saying the what?
Yeah, because they're going to want to learn of them. Obviously, the young lot
Yeah,
want to
that's
learn
what I'm
of the
saying. So,
experience.
for example, you want our young
Take care,
those
Josh.
investment. Big up, Josh. You want those young, talented kids, Madueke and Neymar and Mudryk, to be learning from who?
What are they
Sterling?
The coach.
That is the most ideal situation, but you know what?
They
We've
should
done
be
it the
learning
other way
from their
around.
manager. But also, Sterling should step up since he's a Premier League, 5-time Premier League winning player.
I heard that song before, Daniel.
He should. We should.
I know that.
These guys so much
on the
fun.
paper, yes.
My thing is this: Neymar is not going to teach these guys how to play like him. They don't have. It's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So what
You can't teach anyone to play like
they
Neymar.
learn from professionals are training methods, or adherence to tactics, or the intangibles of how to train, how to do all these things. How to listen to the coach, blah blah blah. These are what you learn when you're watching these guys, and then you listen to them because they're directing you on what you should do tactically. Neymar has always been a freestyle guy. Whatever he wanted to do that was impossible, he did it. It's like an unorthodox fighter teaching you how to technically box. Then they can't teach you that because he just didn't need it. You know what I mean? Or like a knockout punch, like a Deontay Wilder cannot be your boxing coach. He just wants to knock you out, and he can do it because he has that gift.
He's not a boxer. He just fighter.
Sterling or Neymar have.
So it's like Neymar is
not a boxer. That's a part of boxing.
He's so supremely talented.
I know that, Jimmy. I just saying that is not a.
Where other wingers, let's say someone like a David Silva will probably coach you how to be in the right spots for a 1-2, to learn how to do these different things, and teach someone like Foden that, right? Someone like Neymar, from even how he plays, he does things that you're not supposed to do, and it still works for him because he's that good. So how is he going to teach? I don't see, even in training methods and things like that, I don't see him being that older
I'm not saying teach him, give him a lessons. I'm saying by play by what's the name? By I just don't want the conversation to actually stop. I'm tired of Neymar and the conversation.
Very long.
I actually, if you really think about it, I actually can't stand Neymar. I'm just saying that those kids are not ready to be a starting lineup. That's all it is.
I hear that.
I think they are, just because, like.
Okay, I mean that's fine. That's fine. I just don't.
Maybe
not at the same time. Maybe I should
see with the expectations and the way we
I
are.
should have said it right. Not at the same time. If we one by one, like not both of them at the same games. You know what I'm saying? Both of them start.
I'm still undecided about that, just because, again, I think it comes down to expectations. Like, that's why guys like Foden and Saka have managed to get where they are, because the expectations on them were not high. No one, like Arsenal fans, when Saka came in, were not.
Those are two different things. Don't lie about it. Saka
no, they're not.
They're not two different things.
No,
Saka's expectations was from the beginning.
No, there was no expectation.
Foden was not.
Saka was the most protected out of his Arsenal group for a long time.
They were prioritized as well.
He came in during the Europa League run. There was no, under Emery, there was no expectations, and he turned into a guy who, I think was it last season, was basically saving their season at times, like, because they gave him time. They only speak about Saka now in the way of, like, the way we spoke, like, or Chelsea fans spoke about Mount, like when he first came through, or things like that. Like, when he first came through, was not spoken about in the same way he is now. He was given time, and he was not.
Those Arsenal fans, man, those are freaking crazy maniacs, man. Don't tell me. And Foden, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Foden did it right.
Yeah, I don't think Foden and Saka could be compared.
Those two are not even.
Saka played every game.
No. The expectations of these guys, though, by the fans, was not the same expectations as our fan base have of young players. Because our fan base is doing what Arsenal fans did for years with the likes of Wilshere and Walcott. Where as soon as they come in, they are putting them on this pedestal of like, oh, they're going to be the next Henry for Walcott and shit like that. No, just let them fucking get there of natural court, like their own natural like progression. Like, stop putting them on a pedestal they don't deserve to be there. Our fan base does that now. And that's the thing. If you just don't do that and just let them play and let them have
so
good
you saying Arsenal fans didn't do that about Saka?
They kind of did.
That about Saka when he first broke through.
John Scott, you're talking about initially, and that time where the expectation wasn't as high allowed him to grow into the player he is, and then the expectation.
I would say the way they talk about him now, they speak about him now like is unreal.
They
But that's
spoke
because
about him just like that 2 years
I'm
ago.
sorry, but I gotta disagree because when Mount was winning Player of the Year for us, they were saying Saka was better than Mount.
Smith Rowe, not even Saka.
Yeah, he wasn't even doing anything near what he's doing now. Not even.
Yeah, actually, thank you for bringing up Smith Rowe, by the way. Thank you for bringing up Smith Rowe. There's one that hasn't developed in the same way because, again, they hyped him to a point that he didn't deserve. Then they improved upon him with Ødegaard. Now you don't see Smith Rowe.
So wait, you can't use them both examples. Smith Rowe got hurt, so that's a bad example.
Yeah, and he also doesn't play now. He also doesn't play.
Hold on. But what you just said was disingenuous. That was no. You tried to say they overhyped Smith Rowe. That's why it didn't work. That's not why it didn't work. It didn't work because he got hurt.
He got injured.
And then they brought in a player who just happened to be better than him. Don't make it seem like they overhyped him and then he failed. Ødegaard is a better player than him. Somebody's better than you. There's nothing you can do about that. He's just better than you. But don't make it seem like they overhyped Smith Rowe and then he failed because he got overhyped. No, he got injured, and then Ødegaard showed his class this year. He has 15 league goals.
Then Scott, I had so many trolling tweets towards the goal every time Saka was mentioned how much value of he is for the past 2 years, man. Don't tell me they didn't on Saka. Oh my word, that Saka is so freaking overrated. I like the kid, but he's so overrated by Arsenal.
No, I think.
Do you see what we're comparing him? He's better than Neymar now.
They're doing that now.
You can't take any.
No, man, they've been doing it. They've been doing it. What he's saying is they've been overhyping him. At whatever level he was, they always put him higher.
Exactly.
Because when Mason Mount was playing better than him, they still said he was better than Mount, even though they had no evidence of it. There was no evidence that he was better. It was just he's better than Mount. Mount was our Player of the Year, Champions League. This and that. Oh, he's better. And Saka wasn't anything yet, and they still were saying he was better. He was more valuable. He's more this. And trust me, all my friends are Arsenal fans, so this ain't even one I'm really even up to debate. Trust me, I'm so
hold on. That's fair.
surrounded by Arsenal fans.
They did rate him, maybe overrate him super highly, right? But they subsequently, like fans do, have a dual mind where they also didn't put any pressure on him. So they didn't put any hate on him when he failed. When we get in spaces and we're putting pressure on Arsenal fans, you have all these great players, you have all these this. Why are you finishing eighth? They'll say, "Oh, our team is not good enough. Oh, these guys aren't good enough."
I don't know about that.
They have a dual thing where
our team is not good enough.
Our youngsters are the best in the world.
Our team is not good enough.
Our team is not good enough.
Well, of course they're not good enough because they finished 8th, 5th, 6th, and 5th. So they're not wrong. They weren't good enough back then.
Even when they were not good enough, Saka was carrying their team.
I know.
They were listening to him.
That's the thing. Even when they were bad, who was the first people they blamed? The experience
manager? No,
manager.
They want that out.
Wait. Arteta. We've got Pies.
It was Arteta. It was Xhaka. It was all the experience.
I don't even know it is. I won't spoil it.
Toney is banned for 8 months.
Jesus
Christ.
Damn.
But it started
That's
now.
it about the picture now.
I know. I'll tell you what, I'm still taking.
I'm saying it starts this summer. I'm sorry. Yeah, it starts in the summer.
Included summer months.
So he's back in what, like February?
Yeah, he'll be back in no time. Half a season.
He's not back to next year.
He's back in January.
You know what? If he's gonna go for a cut price because of this, I would still take him.
Yeah,
of course, he has to go for a cut price.
I'm talking about cut.
I mean, I don't know about cut. He's not injured, so yeah, he's not injured. He's not injured.
As bad as it could have been.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was gonna be. It could have been up to a year. I think, right? Didn't they say he could have had a whole season?
Do you know what's mad? By the way,
do you think we did it on purpose to count them out like a summer months too?
Yeah, it looked set up to where he can be back around the transfer window. That's what it looked like to me.
That's nice of him. 10 years ago, they wouldn't have done that for a brother, but you know.
Nah, 10 years ago, he'd be having
Ivan
to learn
Toney was my
Mandarin,
number one
bro.
striker pick as well.
He'd be having to learn fucking Mandarin because he'd be going to play for the Shanghai Sheepdogs.
We could do it, you know, if it's a cup 40 million for him, I'll take the deal. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Or something, or what's the other guy's name? Broha, you know what I mean?
Broha, yes, back. Yeah, back.
Just play them and have them, you know, and just wait, or in Nkunku play false nine, figure it out till he comes for 40. I'd rather do that than 150 on Osimhen, and I love Osimhen.
I'd rather do that than 100 or something more for anybody.
I love Osimhen, but where we are right now, we're not even close to winning a league title. We need to build up there's just several parts of our team that needs to build up, where it's like, okay, now you can splash that amount of money on the final piece. He comes in, we're ready to win the league, the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. But right now, we're not there.
By the way, just want to point something out. I did a little research. This is only 1 month less than Mutu got banned for doing coke.
Well, but you got to remember, coke. Everybody does coke in the industry. Everybody don't gamble though. Yeah, they all do
gamble.
Coke.
You with coke.
Yeah, coke is nice.
You make yourself a broke. You will most likely become broke. With gambling, you enriching yourself. So
yeah,
you can influence the game, especially when he betted on himself, man.
Damn, that's 8 months.
I just don't understand. Did he ever thought that he was gonna reach those levels of as an individual player to bet it? Like, you know that consequences could be. Oh man! But I'll still get it.
Yeah, I say I'd definitely take him. Like, I'm willing to put up with like whatever for those. Like as I said, it's 8 months from now, so that's what. Hang on, June, July, August. Half of that is basically like the transfer window and like the first couple of games of the season. I'm willing to stick out. I'm willing to stick out till December, January for Toney, 100%.
And a 50k fine.
Oh, that's pocket money.
How much did he win out of those winnings?
That's peanuts. That's kind of peanuts.
That's baby food, man.
Yeah, they're like, just give us some of your betting winnings back.
Yeah, give us some.
It's like, yeah, we'll give you 8 months and then something small, just something a little extra.
The worst part is he probably didn't even make anything from the fucking betting. He probably makes more now than he did altogether in that betting shit. But you know, when you down, you down.
Yeah.
When most people that gamble like that, they gamble. They don't even gamble for the money, man. They gamble for the rush.
Yeah, man, go to Vegas and gamble. Don't gamble on your job where you can get fined and fired.
Big heads, these big heads in the NFL did it. He wasn't doing illegal gambling, but he did it while he was at the practice facility. Illegal.
They got CTE. There's an excuse.
Don't make no sense.
Josh said 20 mil.
Just 20. Yeah, that's the cut I was talking
20
about.
mil.
That's probably not gonna happen.
20 mil, Jesus.
So that kind of money, they'll just keep him. And just let him come back and kick ass when he get back, because you know you're gonna come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. He's just gonna come back and just want to be like, okay, here's what you missed out on.
Exactly.
I kind of want to know: are you allowed to train at training facilities, or you should?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if
probably
it's like
not. Yeah, with that type of suspension, they probably don't want you around the facility at all. Yeah, you probably can't even be around the facility at all.
Yeah, he can't train with Brentford for the first 4 months.
Oh shit! It's not even that bad.
Are they still paying his wages?
That's literally the summer months. Bro can go on a holiday for 4 months.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Look, Scott, that's what I asked. Is that including summer months? I thought it was only playing months.
No, he's taking a trip to Miami as we
He can
speak.
go on his holiday now, and then he's back as if the new season started. Despite being
chilling
banned.
for 4 months and fuck all. You've just given him a 4-month holiday, man.
Technically, it's like a long injury.
Right.
Watch him come back and build like Lukaku or like R9 after retirement. What it's gonna be.
That's just fucking.
Oh my word! Damn.
The FA are fucking stupid.
No, but honestly though, this probably means he's not an option anymore.
Again, I'd still get him. I know that
at least for the summer, no. At least for the summer, no.
Same if he's cheaper.
Maybe maybe for January.
That's what I'm saying. He's allowed to be
If
training
Poch really
with
wants
the
a
team.
striker right now, I don't think he's gonna wait eight months for him to come in.
Get him anyway.
Well, then we might have to have someone on the side until then. I don't know. We might have to.
Lukaku hates us, bro.
No.
He's not coming in.
Yeah, Lukaku is not coming.
No, he's trying to ask us to pay more of his wages. Like, no thanks.
That triangle head
He hates
pisses me
us.
off, man.
It's about the triangle head, bro.
I think one of Dash Fana Broya will be given an opportunity next
That
season.
was actually yesterday. There was a space on Twitter yesterday. The Monster was talking about Lukaku, and I'm like, God, how Monster? I swear, Monster, man. Him and Lukaku, I swear, he just wants to somebody that with his physical look like Monster's big, and he just wants somebody to be as big as Monster at Chelsea, so he can get a shirt with his size, man. I swear, man. Gee, man, Lukaku is such a bad player. It's not even funny.
Nah, he's not that bad. It's a Champions League.
I swear, what was it? He got his assist for that goal last night. I swear he just stood still. I swear he just stood still and passed forward.
Y'all gonna be mad as hell when he scored.
Everyone was massively praising the assist.
I want him to. That means that City will not win it, and that means that we will get the bigger fee for him to sell it.
I mean, we'll see if City even make it.
We'll see if City make it to the final. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm like City. Oh, I was looking at my clock. Like, wait, did I miss a day? When did City get into the Champions League final?
They get it today.
No, they're not in there yet.
They definitely.
I mean, they have an edge, but it's not like that much over Real Madrid. It's Real
What
Madrid
edge? What edge do they have?
They're
Just
home.
1-1.
They're a home. That's all I'm saying.
How's that an edge?
With
When the
all the
score is
13
1-1?
fans, with all the 13 fans,
The score is 1-1. There's no edge.
I'm talking about the edges. Real Madrid have had their home game, and now it's time
Broski.
for City to have their home game.
So
They have
people
their
don't
edge.
lose away?
first of all, their home game is actually renovated, so it's not even full stadium.
Man, listen, ain't no edge when you talk about Real Madrid. The score is 1-1.
Real
Ain't
Madrid
no
is
edge.
different in the Champions League, but
That's what I'm saying.
I
You
don't-
got
I
no
don't-
edge against Madrid. Madrid
I
will
don't
come into
disagree
your
with
house,
you. I don't
wipe their
disagree.
feet on your fucking carpet, take a shit in your bathroom and don't flush it, and leave. That's what they'll
Open
do.
your fridge. Yep. Everything.
I still
Yeah.
think City will advance. City is good in two-legged games. They're not good.
I
in
don't
one.
mind City winning the Champions League. I don't mind.
I want them to lose because
No,
we're
I
already
definitely
gonna win the
want-
Premier League. I want them to lose.
Don't want him to
Yeah,
win.
I don't want him getting a treble, man.
Yeah. I don't care about the treble.
I
I
don't
just
really
don't want them to have a Champions
I
League.
don't. I mean, it's not Arsenal we're talking about.
I don't want them to win at all.
I just
Right,
thankful for them for not getting for getting title from Arsenal. That was the biggest L. But Champions League, it's a different conversation.
I can't believe
Listen,
there's
I don't know if we have time, but center mid, you guys won, man. Rice isn't coming, so who are we getting?
Ugarte.
I want Casado, man.
has
I
to
want
be
Casado.
Ugarte?
I want
Lavia
Ugarte.
or Ugarte.
I'll take
I want
Ugarte.
like
Lavia.
Lavia ain't ready to play. We're back to that.
Oh
Who's
my
ready to
God,
start?
man.
He's-
Yeah, let's not go through this
Kindergarten,
again.
kindergarten shit.
Bring him
Lavia,
on, man. Bring him here, but he's not going to be
yes,
the guy.
Buy him, but don't.
Yeah, he's an opportunity signing. You need somebody who's.
I'm just
ready.
saying what I think the
Lavia's
board
not
will
gonna
like
come here
to
unless
do.
he starts.
Casado,
Yeah,
all over for me. Casado is the better deal in the scenario of a 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1.
He can play either.
Yeah, for me,
4-2-3-1.
Casado is most versatile. Then is going Rice.
Rice isn't coming here. Casado, 80 million. I think
he's not gonna cost 80. He was costing 80 for
They want
Arsenal in the
$120
January
for
transfer
Rice,
window.
and I guarantee you they get $120 for Rice.
No, yeah, I think I've always been advised, but hearing that he's
I think Arsenal ends up paying like 100 million for Rice.
Yeah,
close to, yeah.
Casado is better for Chelsea even in the negotiation phases because we can pursue them with some Chelsea youngsters that they like. We already have what's his name there.
Like who?
Like the center back. And we're also
Colwell.
looking for Chukwuemeka.
Why would we ever give them Colwell?
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
Nobody asked you to do shit, Moya. You're sitting
you did.
in
You asked me to do it.
Okay, so
Chicago.
Colwell is not an option, and the club don't even see him as an option. So who else? Santos?
Chukwuemeka.
At least I'm not sitting in North Carolina.
Chukwuemeka is the other option.
I tell you what,
we
that's
just signed this guy for 20 million.
Just bought
If Brighton wants any of our youngsters,
So that means that
if Brighton wants-
Same as Santos.
if Brighton wants any of our youngsters, that should tell us something. Do not give it to them.
They can have Calamus on Doy.
It's just a pure loan.
Oh yeah,
by the way.
on the door. They can have a person on the door.
Oh, if they won't call you back on a loan, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
it's a
think
loan, then there's a
think
few.
he
But like,
wants to leave.
No,
loan?
would you hold on
you
a
can have
second? Would
Santos
you
on loan.
trade?
Yeah, go
trade?
ahead.
Would you
But to
trade?
sign? No, hell no. Do not give them any.
Would you trade Chukwuemeka 40 million value and 40 for Casado?
no.
I would.
I'll actually do it as long as it's not Santos or
What
like.
have y'all seen from
Colwell.
Chukwuemeka that would stop that will make you hold him to
First of
not
all,
get Casado?
Hold on a second. If we play in 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3, where's Chukwuemeka is playing? Number 10?
That's what I'm saying. But even I don't even care where he's playing. What have you seen from him that would make you think it's better to keep him over Casado?
Listen, I hear that, and that sounds extremely logical. But what do they see in him that they see him as an option?
I don't give a fuck what they see him. I see him what
No,
I see.
no. But you have to ask that question, right? If they're seeing him as the replacement, like, oh yeah, we'll take him for 40.
Yeah, they see him replacement probably for what's that Argentinian offensive.
Or McAllister.
McAllister.
Yeah, McAllister is a number 10, so that's probably what they see him as, right?
Yeah, they can have it.
Okay, so listen, if we just signed him,
So you want to give Brighton?
He's had
Who are
1 year. He hasn't even played. Like he's played like 6 games barely, right?
Okay.
You haven't even seen him play. You haven't seen him play.
Yeah,
so we're saying, yeah, easy. Let's get rid of him we haven't even given it a chance to develop. Maybe send him on loan something.
But y'all don't think they seen him practice? You don't think nobody at the club know how good of a player he is because we haven't seen him play?
Yeah, but no one at the club is putting this.
Why
option out. We're the
Brighton
ones
doesn't
putting this
ask
option out.
themselves why is Chelsea wants Casado?
Hold on, but Chelsea has never put up that Chukwuemeka is out for sale or loan or anything, right? Right. So we're the ones talking about it. So it's about
No, there is
what we see that we're saying
there's
that.
actual reports that Brighton are interested in Chukwuemeka.
And Gallagher.
And Gallagher.
They can have Gallagher. They can. Fucking,
Oh,
thank you.
please, in a heartbeat, give them Gallagher.
There's
Right.
nothing
But with
about
that-
us being interested in
Yeah,
them.
we've seen
But with
plenty
that
of
same
Gallagher.
logic, with
Please
Daniel's
give
same
them-
logic, if they want Gallagher, shouldn't we keep Gallagher too?
we've seen stuff with Gallagher.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of Gallagher though, and
I've
we'll see.
seen
We-
plenty
we've
of
seen too
Chukwuemeka.
many.
We've not seen plenty of Chukwuemeka.
I've seen plenty of Chukwuemeka to make a decision. I want Casado.
I've seen Chukwuemeka for 5. No, I want Casado either way. That has nothing to do with Chukwuemeka.
I was gonna say, like, why does this have to involve Chukwuemeka?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
it
Because
doesn't-
that's what Brighton want, and
Yeah.
that could give us a.
And they also want Gallagher. So what if I told you? Hang on. What if I told you Gallagher plus I don't know 40 mil for Casado?
Yeah.
I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In a
I'll take
heartbeat.
40
Yeah,
for
there we
Gallagher,
go, there we
40
go.
for Chukwuemeka,
Yeah.
send
Why
them
is that
both and just give me Casado. No.
Yeah, even
if-
him. Yeah, both of them.
Yes, send Chukwuemeka, send Gallagher. If
And then you tell them to keep
40
going.
each, it just send us Casado back.
I'd even say they can keep Colwell as long as
Okay, so
Colwell
who's
renews his
coming
contract.
up-
We have to watch. So Brighton have to get to fleet.
Quickly, so who's coming off the bench next year?
Where?
Where midfield or defense?
In midfield.
In midfield.
Yeah,
Oof,
since you've
what?
gotten rid of Chukwuemeka and Gallagher and
Santos.
Chukwuemeka wasn't even signed anyway, and Gallagher he shouldn't even be signed at the same time. So it's like
right now
Yeah,
Gallagher plays
Santos-
more than
Santos,
Gallagher plays more
Lavia,
midfield games more than anybody, right?
Kante.
With him
All
out,
right.
somebody needs to take that spot, and somebody needs to come off the bench, right? So if you're getting rid of Chukwuemeka, now you're saying you're relying on Loftus-Cheek again for the 5th year in a row. Yay, that's worked out.
Why you bring Loftus-Cheek? Why you not bringing Santos? Why you not bring Kante?
Santos and Chukwuemeka, what? An 18-year-old from Brazil versus
Done more than Chukwuemeka have done it.
No, he's not.
No, he hasn't. He actually hasn't done more than.
He hasn't done more.
The guy actually played and won something with his.
You know, Chukwuemeka won the under 19.
I was going to say, you know, yeah, I say Chukwuemeka did the same fucking thing. Like,
But
did
what
the
is it-
literally the same thing.
Chukwuemeka got a ticket to the main team?
What?
What's his name? Santos?
I
He
can
got
answer, but he
to the
doesn't.
senior team.
And he started.
Alex, weren't you the one who said that Santos got put in the senior team to help Chelsea get him the permit?
How would anybody know that?
But I want to win the arguments. I'll use everything.
No, I rate Santos highly. I think he should be in the team as well. But instead of me giving someone
What
like
do you think, Moya?
Loftus-Cheek on more minutes next year, I'd rather give.
I'll use everything I have to win the argument.
I know you, Alex. I know it.
But Chukwuemeka
Thinking
doesn't.
that I was like,
In a 4-2-3-1, where does he play?
I have no idea.
He plays in the 2.
No, he can't play in the pivot.
oh, Chukwuemeka.
You don't know that. It's
not-
about, he's an 8. Listen,
Oh
he's
my
a
God.
19-year-old.
Oh my God,
center mid,
Daniel,
right?
you haven't been here.
He can
so long.
develop the same way
Oh
Jose
my
Mourinho took a number 10, Obi Mikel, and made him a DM. You can develop these young guys and make them
Oh my God.
with their attributes into what you want to make
Can
them.
Ruben play in a pivot?
He has a lot.
He has.
Yeah, cool. He started, he
I'm
started out the
gonna
same
go.
thing.
I'm gonna go on
He
live.
started out
I'm
the same
He is a
thing.
Ruben type player. So he can be transformed. He's still young.
I was going to say, like,
he
this
has
idea
the-
that
He's
we
younger, so he has more ability to like pick up the tactics and all these things over time. More so
Can I
than
just say,
Ruben, who's
Daniel,
been there
this
in
is the
25.
same shit I was talking about when it comes to our fans. Giving up on a player when you've seen all of 5 games, probably all of about 200 minutes of football. Like, you're the fucking problem. I'm sorry. If you're giving up on players after 200 minutes of football,
Yeah,
like,
that's what Alex does all the time.
no one's going to fucking develop. No one's ever going to develop. Ever.
Yeah, Chukwuemeka
Like,
out.
fucking stupid.
All right.
I mean, people.
How
Who the
bad
hell
of
is
me?
Chuck?
How
Chukwuemeka
bad
was
of
player
me?
of that
How bad
tournament.
of me? For
Casado
one-
was there. Gavi was there.
I was
all
going
these
to say
guys
this
were
is
there.
the same. Also,
So-
this is the same guy that Dortmund wanted. Again, a team who are who hit notoriously like a lot when it comes to young players. But no, again, we're just
Yeah.
going to give up on a player.
Notorious
And again,
Notorious Sanchos, Notorious. How many of
you're
their
giving
players
me
that we have
examples. You're giving me
notorious?
examples of players that hit at Dortmund and that they sold
and
for
never
big
were
money.
out.
The fuck are you talking about? The fuck is this argument?
Not
You're
every
giving
single
me examples
like
of
Haaland,
players
all
right?
of a sudden becomes
Notorious
I was
like
going to say
Haaland.
Haaland, Bellingham that they're about to sell for over 100 mil. Oh, all these players,
Yeah.
Hummels that they sold for big money. Oh, all of these players. Oh, fuck, they're doing so badly, aren't they? Oh, fuck,
yeah.
idiots, man.
Mkhitaryan, all those
Yeah,
players are
that they
doing so
sold
well.
for big money.
Lewandowski, right?
Lewandowski. Fucking hell.
Right, all those guys, right? Gundogan, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We should keep going.
You gotta
I'm
hold that
saying,
one,
I'm
Alex.
just
You're on
trying
your
to.
own.
I'm just,
Isaac,
That's
another
That he
one.
was-
Like
Trying
we just keep
Aubameyang,
going.
yeah?
Oh, another one.
no, that's not.
Dembele. Oh shit.
Dembele. Oh shit! Another one.
My
Okay,
point
now.
is
Jesus
they,
Christ.
my point is
Jimmy
they're not keeping it for themselves. They're keeping it and selling them.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
we're
what
not
we're
them.
supposed to
We'll
do.
keep it for ourselves.
I was gonna say we haven't even done that though with Carney. We haven't even got to that stage. We've just sort of seen him for 200 minutes and thought, yeah, let's just get rid of him. We
I
haven't
don't
even
think
got
Alex
to
is
the
saying
first
we
step.
should. He said he would be
I'm
willing
saying
to
I
for
would be
Casado.
willing to look into actually
Yeah,
to get
that's. I
Casado.
think. I think
That's the only
the
thing I said.
conversation went a little bit off the rails because y'all think he's saying we should get rid of him. No, he's saying because Brighton is interested in him. Would
We
you
should
be
explore
willing to?
that option.
Yes, and I agreed that I would be willing because I know what Casado is. I'm not saying I would run and
And I think Casado is a position at Chelsea team is more important right now than wait
yes,
for
I agree
Chukwuemeka
with that
to
also.
develop.
No, and that's true, but it's not. Like when you give me an option and you say, would you add this player and this money? Me saying no doesn't mean I'm not going to get that player still. It just means I'll pay what they want. If they want 80 million, I'll give them the 80 instead of giving them 40.
So we'll do what we did with Cucurella.
Because what they're going to do is they're going to develop Chukwuemeka, and his value is going to skyrocket because he's also English, and sell him for about 80.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and people's imaginations are really small sometimes. They just see it as being this option or another option. No,
Yeah, because
how
we
about
don't
we
do drugs,
just
Scott.
Yeah, cool. Your imagination is just really small. It has to be we either include Carney or we pay the 80. Why can it not be, as we just mentioned, they're interested in Gallagher, give him Gallagher. Or as Dan just said, just pay the money instead and don't give him enough.
Hold on a second. Let ask me this question again. Either we let Casado, like for example, who would you keep as a partial, Gallagher or Chukwuemeka? I'll say yeah, I'll keep Chukwuemeka and trade Gallagher.
Cool. Then why did we then go back to talking about Chukwuemeka? Why couldn't I
because there was the other option, and I said I still do it. I didn't say I'll do it.
So it's a crime even to just mention Chukwuemeka now?
Yeah, that was a crime.
No, we mentioned him. Because we mentioned him. Then I gave you a different option, and then you proceeded to go back towards Chukwuemeka.
Because
but the other option as soon as an option gets put out into the universe,
because Brighton has interest. But my thing is, like, I don't care if they have interest. They should have interest because he's a good young player. But we have him, and we still need to develop players. So there's no point in us letting them go. Like we already have a set of center mids. We're losing Conte. We're losing.
I want to know why Brighton is thinking of Gallagher. I want to know why.
Just know why what?
No. Well, you said like ask your question.
Well, that's what I asked. I said Brighton wants Gallagher also. He's a young player.
Yeah.
So should we keep Gallagher?
Like you said that. Why? Just think.
I've seen Gallagher for how many games now in this season? I know what his quality is. I think he can get better.
I know what I saw Chukwuemeka not enough sample at Chelsea.
So you?
Oh my God!
Wait, Alex. So you don't believe
100 million?
So you don't think Gallagher can get better then?
Of course he can get better.
So you think what Gallagher is now is what he's going to always be, even though he's young?
He can 100% get better. But I've seen Gallagher as a more known quantity to say, I'll be willing to lose that, and get someone like a Casado. But okay, I haven't.
But you haven't seen enough from Carney to want to get rid of him. I dig it. I
haven't seen enough to say.
Yeah, I think he's saying he has a high ceiling. I think that's what I'm saying.
I understand that mindset because I'm like that with the players like that too. Sometimes I can respect the unknown more than what I've seen and be like, you know what?
No.
I'd rather take my
Jimmy. It's not just the unknown though. It's the fact that he comes with that pedigree of a young player in those tournaments.
What I mean unknown is like we don't know. We don't know his ceiling, but we've seen the potential because I've seen enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm very interested. Like that's one of the things. When Frank first came in, I don't know if you was listening to streams. All I asked for was Badiashile, Madueke, Mudryk, and Carnes. That's all. I didn't care about who played, I just wanted those 4 guys to play, and he's the only one that has not played yet, and I don't get it. I don't understand why Carnes have not.
Another thing. For some reason, Scott thinks that we think in Chukwuemeka is should go instead of Gallagher if there is option. I'll send Gallagher
first.
Yes, and I will say same thing. But that wasn't the conversation. I didn't even know that there was a link with Gallagher. I knew a link with Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, we know there was a link with Chukwuemeka for sure.
Yeah, but
by the way, that triangle had asked for Chelsea to pay more of his wages next season to go to Inter.
Yeah, that just literally showed. Like, if he hasn't already cared enough, like that just shows more. He just simply does not care. Like, how hard is it to tell that the guy just does not care?
Who?
Lukaku asked for Chelsea to cover more of his wages next season to go on loan to Inter.
He can go to hell.
You can ask.
He can go to hell.
He can have a shoe up his ass too.
Yeah, just on the Carney thing, by the way. Like, I did want to say, like, fuck the club for holding him back for like the under-20 tournament thing. Like, he best play every game.
He better play though. Like, you can hold him back all you want, but just
that's what I mean. Like they've held him back. He best play every game from now to the end of the season.
He better start. He better fucking start.
Yeah, that's what I mean. meaningful. Why are you holding him back from the tournament?
You will have Kante, Enzo, Gallagher on Sunday, and you will like it.
Bro, then you're like, fuck the for doing that because like you're stopping this guy getting meaningful game
You
time.
know that's the one we're gonna get anyway.
I actually think
Messi will get 5 minutes off the bench in the second half.
The reason why I think Chukwuemeka is because I see him not hitting his potential at Chelsea in the first place, because there's too much competition for him in that position, even at Chelsea right now.
Not really.
No, but even if
when
there is,
you have a clear out, right? When you have like Kovacic is gone, right? You have Mount gone, Gallagher's probably gone, right? And you clear out someone like Loftus-Cheek. If you go out and you spend,
You really believe all of them leaving, Daniel?
I believe most of them are leaving. Probably one state.
You hoping like I am. You hoping like I am.
No, probably one state. Like Kovacic is definitely leaving. I think
Probably Loftus-Cheek staying no matter what, man. That guy is retiring.
I do think Gallagher leaves because he's going to.
I agree with that one also.
So maybe Loftus-Cheek is the one who's probably going to hide out because he's 27 or he's experienced, blah, blah, blah. They'll probably keep him. Okay, cool. He stays. For me, the other two slots, because you're going to sign another DM, right? The DM comes in, we're only playing 30-something games, like 40-something games entirely the entire year. So if you get a DM who comes in, he starts most of the time. The two young guys I will have.
With Chukwuemeka, it's a defensive ability.
Hold on,
but he got time to work on that, man.
Okay,
the two guys I will have, the two young guys I will have are Santos and him, and then you have Loftus-Cheek as the old whatever, just sitting there.
Swiss Army knife, yeah.
I think that's enough to me. Like this is a free season where you can have time to bring them in for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And give.
I agree because, like you said, I'm with you. Top 7, top 6 is what we should be looking at next year.
We're not doing.
Look.
Maybe if Lukaku steps up a little bit more, we finish in the top 4, or maybe clicks a little bit more, and that helps us. But if not, it's okay.
Daniel, even
with those I did get go bigger.
Even with those options that you said, I don't see him even third off the bench. For example, if we play only 2 in midfield, I don't even see him even off the bench. For example, if we sign a GM, there will be just an example with, let's say, it's Casado. And Enzo playing in starters.
Yeah.
Even if the substitutions are coming in, the players that you said, I don't see Chukwuemeka getting.
But I understand that because you already don't rate him, so I can understand.
No.
Right? But let's say the new manager comes in, right?
Why can't he have Kovacic's spot?
The new manager comes in and says, because obviously Enzo, these guys are not going to start every game. Yeah, obviously, Santos is the prime jewel that we're trying to develop now. Cool.
Yeah,
I feel he's also a prime jewel. If you're not going to keep him, you have to sign somebody else because the rest of those guys, unless you're keeping Gallagher, the rest of those guys, there's not good quality there. Like you instead of signing somebody else, I might as well just keep him, right, and give him those minutes that you would give to
and he's Casado, because that's the only one.
Like Daniel said, so Santos is the jewel in the crown in terms that's what they're building towards. How do we know Carney can't get better than he can with given the same time?
It's definitely possible.
Exactly, and that's possible. But Alex, you said that. I don't know. Alex, you said, I don't know whether he can get to that level. Like the whole point is to let him swim and see if he can.
I'm just asking you. You have a midfield of Enzo and Casado.
Yeah.
You have on the bench Chukwuemeka, Robin Loftus-Cheek, and Santos. You approach. One of them needs the substitution midfield. Who's coming in?
Depends on the game. It depends on the game state and for who, yeah.
If it's Enzo coming off, right, who's the more attacking player, the more playmaker type. If I'm trying to develop Chukwuemeka to develop that more in his game, then he's coming in, right? If Saicedo's coming off, obviously Santos coming in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Casado scored on every goal.
Daniel, I'm not even sure that if we have Enzo and Casado, I'm not sure that Enzo will be the more attacking. I think Enzo will be more defensive.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
He might.
He might.
People will be shocked. People will be shocked.
It would unlock Enzo.
I don't want
people. I don't think people understand how much Enzo is actually liking to be a regista in this team.
Well, he's going to end up being like a Jorginho.
he likes that position, and I get a feeling he likes that position.
Nah, he likes.
That's not where he thrives, though, Alex. I don't care what you tell me. What he did in the World Cup is what he does best.
The passes, I think he
enjoys. But that's not what he did in the World Cup. Is what he does best.
No. I understand that, but he was still deeper than McAllister in that.
But it don't matter. Like a manager's not gonna come in and be like, "Well, you like playing here." He's gonna say, "No, this is what you do best. You play up here." We don't care about what he likes. A lot of players like a lot of shit. But what's best for Enzo is be more attacking. That's what Poch is not going to look at Enzo and say, "You sit and let Caicedo go and attack."
First of all, Jimmy, hold on a second. First of all, that whole thing, the whole thing with like position attacking, it's kind of moot point if you try to be a position-based team. If you control the possession of the game, you automatically in the opposition half. You automatically was already in offensive zone. So
agreed. You'll be already in the attacking position.
For me, that not much difference between the sitter and offensive midfielder when you are trying to be a possession-based team because you're already on opposition team, opposition half.
But I'm talking about what your responsibility is in that team, right? Caicedo's responsibility is winning the ball. Mainly, is winning the ball. Being the main ball winner on the team. Enzo is the main playmaker in the team, right?
And being on top of that box to put in shots from outside the box.
Deciding and dictating. So if you're trying to develop, it depends on what you're trying to develop these young guys into being.
So let me ask you, in the phase of play, when the goalkeeper picks up his ball or the centre back, who is the first player that's gonna be deep to receive the ball in that first phase?
Depends.
In your opinion. When you have Caicedo and Enzo in the team?
It depends because we've seen Caicedo do both this season. Look at the way De Zerbi plays. There's no one that drops deep to receive the ball. That's okay because what they do is the centre back will put their foot on the ball, and then one player pulls wide, one of the midfielders pulls wide, and the other one drops deep. Exactly. So and it's not even the one that drops deep, by the way, that receives the ball. The one that drops deep brings the player, drags the player. So the one that goes wide receives the ball. So it depends what the manager wants to do. Everyone thinks about a possession build up in one way of you can have it where one guy sometimes drops between the centre backs and receives the ball, but not every manager coaches like that. Not every manager
focuses on the centre backs being the ones who progress the ball. Like last game, Colwell was the main guy. So even if Caicedo gets the ball, he's passing it back to him. And he's deciding where the ball goes. So all that is tactics, right?
Because I've been watching some obviously people make an analysis on Poch, and one thing that stood out, obviously Poch used to use Eric Dyer as one of the pivot, and then Dyer would drop to make a back three. So I'm trying to project that in. Obviously, Tottenham and Chelsea complete different, might be a different story. So I was just thinking that scenario, who's gonna be that midfielder to drop and making a back three, for example. I think in that case,
just as we were talking about earlier as well, when it comes to the midfield and what Enzo was doing in the World Cup, Caicedo was doing that too for Ecuador. And when Ecuador were playing, they played a 4-4-2, and he was the more defensive of the two. It was Jason Mendes who was next to him who was doing the more box to box, was pushing forward a bit more.
Caicedo was saying. Those guys are so versatile that it doesn't have to be one specifically, but I know from the talents that Enzo show, I don't care if you're a fan of him or not. You want him more attacking. I don't care who the other player is on. You want him more attacking in the advanced position.
Jimmy, it's not even just from a what's it called, a talent perspective. Defensively, right now, he's not good enough.
Yeah, especially and defensively, Caicedo is a beast.
So I want him just further up the pitch naturally, so that if he makes a mistake defensively, he's got cover.
He got cover, exactly.
Look, this is how Enzo is. What you're talking about, that could be actually work with Casado beside him, or a player like Casado. What I'm saying is, if you if you in a position half, and you spread the ball on the wing, you're not the one that's sitting over there and waiting for counterattack. Both of you pressing, but Casado is slightly more aware of the defensive counter press. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. But technically, they both at the same position on the line. But Casado is the one that actually a little bit more, how you say,
his mindset is more defensive.
But people need to get in their big ass heads. It's not the sitting.
There's no sitting. There's a double
exactly.
Six, yeah.
People think that the sitting job. That's not what it is. It's the one that actually can get back, because Enzo is not as fast. He's faster than Jorginho. He's more physical than Jorginho. But he's not as that as Enzo.
Yeah,
Enzo
you're not gonna see Casado getting skinned too much. It's not gonna be happening.
That's how a double pivot works as well, in terms of like also just with the dropping deep of like, just as an example, like Ten Hag Ajax. Like everyone talks about how good De Jong is in terms of how he used to drop deep, but it wasn't always him. Like Schöne was next to him.
Gundogan and Rodri position.
Yeah, it's like you'd have one time it would be De Jong drops and Schöne stays slightly higher up, and then the other time it works like a double pivot where like Schöne would drop and De Jong would stay higher up, and it's about having the balance then between the two, when understanding. And it's like we're probably going to be playing a double pivot. It's going to be probably a 2 and then a 1 in front of them. 4-2-3-1.
The way you define it, would you be comfortable, right? We're playing a 4-3-3. No, I'm not 4-3-3 with a single 6. Do you think can you see Casado there as that single?
No, he's not.
I think in certain games he can probably handle it, because I've seen him handle it for his national team as well. Like where he can be the most offensive player, and you have 2 8s.
Because I
actually saw him for national team play
against very physical teams. Maybe not. You know what I mean? Maybe he can't be that solo by himself.
I'd say against certain teams maybe. I'd say any team where they're using a number 10, I'd say no, because I think that they would pull him out of position too much.
Exactly, Scott. Remember another thing that the defensive midfielder needs. So he needs to be available for the defenders to pass them through. If we're playing from the back, you need the player to always be available for center backs.
But I think that's where coaching comes into it, because we've seen that.
But I don't see Casado do it. I've never seen him doing it. I saw
Enzo doing it. Casado's done it this season, but that's come from coaching.
He played
from
on a left back, man. Stop saying
what, Casado?
Yes.
No,
Casado
he's done it.
Left.
No, he's done it this season for De Zerbi. It's literally what I was talking about earlier. Like both central midfielders for De Zerbi's system, that they work, and it's fantastically coached, but they work in a way where one of them, like it doesn't really matter who, but one of them will drop deep to drag defenders out, and one will step wide as an option for the pass. And sometimes it will be McAllister, sometimes it'll be Casado. So Casado can do it if he's coached in a way that, like, if he is coached in a way, if Pochettino coaches him to do it.
I think at this situation, Enzo is better than Casado.
Also, Rodrigo, even if you're playing the 4-3-3, Enzo is still in that team. So in the same way that Real Madrid play, where Cruz was the main guy dropping in to pick up the ball, right on that left hand side. That's the same way you have Enzo still drop in to pick up the ball. It doesn't have to be the whole responsibility of.
This is what I feel like we need someone, right? That this is an actual DM. So I was thinking Ugarte for me, because he's an actual destroyer. He's an actual. He can sit by himself, or he can play in a double.
Yeah, but so Casado though.
I think Casado is more. If you want to,
has a smaller sample.
He has more size. He has more.
Clip his wing. Casado
is
more like
things in his game, but he can do what we ask him to. Like,
it's
more like Kante.
I think, for example, you can approach the question, Rodrigo, from different points. Do you want your player to be like the more sitting? Then yes. Or do you want the player that can be taught and everything? For example,
personally,
personally, let me finish. Okay. And then you can personally answer my question.
go on, finish that. Yeah.
That I didn't even finish asking you. My thing is, you can say that that's what we need. What the problem are gonna be ending. You don't need the sitter play in a position-based team a lot.
I tend to disagree, but I think the reason I'm saying what you need a defensive. Look at the team we are. Yeah, we're gonna hold the ball 60% of the time, most of the games, right? So the only time people hit us is in transition. So we need a master, a break in transition. We need someone that can sniff transition before they even happen, and then release the ball to the creator. Because if you think about it, most of the time we hold the ball, and then when do we get hit? Is when someone lose the ball.
That's the problem that you'd face in another situation. You're right. In that specific scenario, yes, you have to have a sniffer that can break those. But you're forgetting one thing. How do you control the game? How do you score? How do you make a threat from the midfield? No. When you have two midfielders that aids but defensively aware, they can press up. Enzo can press up. and he can create the threat from that side of the midfield.
Yes.
For example, if you have a defensive-minded a player that's sitter, he will not make that run. He will not make up that space. He will be waiting. So that will be a hole. You know what that hole for? It's number 10 for the opposition.
I know
you see what I'm saying?
He can track his run. So if you play a team
no. If you're an intelligent player, you will not go back and sit beside sitting six. You make up this. You will make up the space by not getting close to him, but try to get him out of position. You know, like it's a gray area. Does defensive midfielder, does he go all the way high to this specific area? You went one time, he come to you. Okay, you too far. You sit a little bit back. Next time you receive pass a little bit deeper into your own, and that way you see when DM is not tracking you. It's it. It's not his orders. That's not where he goes, defensive midfielder. So now he already has the possession, and if it's a counter-attacking team, he received the ball. And when then receives the ball, or whoever it is on opposition, he looks for the striker. And that's how you break that position. You see what I'm saying? When you have a double pivot with both playable, there's no hole there. Those players are zooming that area all the time. If Enzo goes on the left, that means Casado fills up that hole on the opposite side, and the vice versa. You see what I'm saying?
But only problem you have in your
last 2 points, and we gotta wrap up.
That's why Rodri by himself did not work in the new way of Premier League and the new way of City. That's why you had Stones there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I understand. I get your point. Yeah.
All right, cool. Big up Thierry saying, big up my G. Neymar can play all 3 positions up front. I play him as a striker. He strived as a false 9 for both Brazil and PSG. Brazil all-time top scorer. I wouldn't play him as a striker. I'd play him like left wing, maybe Cam. But like,
I would have.
Brothers play too much FIFA. People play too much FIFA.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on the Neymar front, but like not up front. But appreciate the donation, bro.
I think
but
it all depends on Neymar. That's it.
All
it's like
depends on
Lukaku.
Neymar.
Let's not put Enzo as a DM. Let's go.
But yeah, we gotta wrap things up because I gotta get ready for the Chelsea pods. Big up everybody that's locked in. Don't go anywhere. We're raiding Lawrence. He's got a keep, sell, or loan tier list. So everybody check that out.
Good luck with that. Everyone being sell.
But yeah, that'll be a good screen. Have a look. Guys will be on there as well. We're out though. Big up everybody. Like, subscribe, and peace. Up
Monster is a fraud.